everyone to another session of Crituitous RP. Thank you for joining us this week. Before we jump into our adventure, quick couple of announcements. We would once again like to thank our newest followers, our new family members. They are Walker, Texas Ranger. We have Walker, Texas Ranger. I know. Wow. Like Chuck Norris, you are incredible. Love you. 5 Cowlin, Doc Skills, Very Esther, Coffee Noise. Hey, Coffee Noise. I play with Coffee Noise. Crossroads and Rhine 0E. I think I know him too. Cool. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for following us. We appreciate all of that. Share us with all of your friends if you like what we do. We love seeing that follower count climb. And once we get up to 500, we'll do something special. You just need to tell us what that special thing is. Right. Last bit of announcement before we get into. I wanted to just mention, if you haven't picked it up, go grab yourself a copy of Waterdeep Dragon Heist. It is a great adventure. Not sponsored, none of that stuff. It's just, I really like it. I've been pouring through it, reading all about not just the adventure that's in it, because I know some people might not like playing pre-established adventures, but just the wealth of information about the city itself, and it can give you great ideas on how to run a full city, including one thing that I always just kind of pass over, and that's the Code Legal. I, for one, really enjoy the Code Legal. I'm not going to read it out. You have to check it out, but it did remind me that there need to be consequences to PC's actions inside a town. Yes, they do. If you kill someone in the streets, then there has to be an investigation, and of course the guards aren't going to just accept the word of the people that killed the other people in the street, so there has to be some form of repercussions for actions in town. So check it out. Go find it, whether it's through D&D Beyond, Roll20, or at your local game store. It's a great book. So, welcome. We are going to jump into a tense sort of situation as we rejoin the adventurers, still within the vein of the Night Serpent. They have just killed Razin C for the second time.
For real this time, though.
For real this time, because it was discovered last session that Razin C is the person who created Zola. That's a fact. He is her father, but he created her for one purpose, and that was for him to be able to kill her so that he could become immortal. Well, that didn't sit too well with Zola or the party, so they had to kill him. After killing Valindra Shadowmantle, or at least killing her current physical form, knowing she's a lich, they know that she'll be back. Sometime at some point, she will be back.
Oh, no.
And lastly, they also killed the current nightmare speaker of the Yuan-Ti in Omu, which strictly means that the Yuan-Ti subsect within Omu is without a leader. And so we rejoin our adventures. I'm going to move us all over to the map of the Fane of the Night Serpent. Join us here. You guys have been resting for at least an hour, so you gain the benefits of a short rest if you wish to expend any hit dice or do any of that stuff. But over the course of the hour, what would you guys be doing? Or is there anything in particular you would be doing, or what are you doing now that you've finished the short rest? Dirk is conscious once again, just in case you're interested.
Hey everyone, Carl here. Apparently my mic was not being picked up during the recording and the broadcast, so I'm dubbing over. And here Evering is expressing her desire to search the room and the bodies using her newly donned eyes of minute seeing.
Now, do you need to attune to those items first?
No, the eyes of minute seeing do not require attunement.
Okay, so you have advantage on any investigation check as you pull through the body. So go ahead and make an investigation check with advantage. You don't necessarily need to find anything on Valindra's body, since her body pretty much just turns to ash and a clump of robe, and that's it. But Fanthaza and Razan C's bodies are still there.
I'll use my accent for this one. As I'm walking around the room, I decide that I need to call out to the Magister, Azuth, for aid, asking him to reveal the secret things in the room, the things that Raznisi doesn't want me to find, and cast guidance.
Roll an extra d4. Okay? Nice. All right. So you look over Fanthaza's body. There's not really much to check, as she isn't really wearing much. But you do find, spirited away in her chest piece, is a set of rings. Sorry. No, not a set of rings. A ring of keys. There we go. Sorry. A ring of keys. There are 5 keys in total. And as well as those, you notice that each key has, instead of, most keys just have a loop and then the actual key section. The loop of each of these keys has actually been crafted into a holy symbol of Dendar the Night Serpent. So she has these 5 holy symbols to Dendar the Night Serpent, which also act as keys. You don't know what the keys are for, or where they might go to, but you have those. Razan C's person, you had already looked over his body previously and found the sending stone, but other than that, he didn't really also have much on him, except as you look at his person, you begin to notice that just generally his body is falling apart. The tail that he had starts ripping off. The scales of the tail seem harder than normal. They look like actual scales. They don't look like a snake's skin. And they're actually very tough and hard. So if any of your party want to turn scale into scale mail or scale armor or something, you can definitely use Razan C's scales. You don't have to, but you see that they are of the quality of the kind of animals that you would use for that. That's about it that you find on them. Okay.
So those are on the bodies. How about the rest of the room?
The room itself has a lot of treasure in it. You spent quite a bit of time to be able to look over it, and so I'll give you a quick rundown of everything you could take. Whether or not you take it is up to you. First thing you notice are the shields that Razan C was using to that he was using as a defense. They do feel magical. Okay, so those 5 shields. On top of that, his collection of treasure includes, and I will just copy it down so that we can go over it a little bit later. Sembian wine flask worth 50 gold, a bejeweled Amnian doublet with matching money pouch worth 75, a fine Cormerian cloak worth 100, a gilded moonshay harp worth 250, the 3 large cushions covered in Turami silk, 25 gold. Hidden under one of the cushions is Razan C's leather-bound spellbook, which contains all the spells he has prepared, which I will copy and paste those to you. In addition, his hoard contains 50 gold piece gemstones in a clay urn, 150 platinum in an unlocked wooden chest, 350 gold and 900 silver scattered on the floor, and a Froggermoth statue made of painted wood, and 3 amethyst gemstones for eyes, 100 gold each. So, quite a lot of treasure. You guys do not have a bag of holding anymore. So, are going to struggle to be able to get much of this out. Pay attention to carry capacity here.
So cognizant that we are without our bag of holding and have a lot of things to carry, Averine will say,
Okay.
everyone, during our short rest, I'm going to pore over my book and recover some of my arcane powers. And when we're done, I'll be able to fabricate a richly appointed treasure chest that tomorrow morning I'll be able to then shunt into the ethereal plane. We'll be able to use all the materials we've been gathering up above in Omu, and some of the materials here that Raznizi obviously no longer needs.
Okay.
Okay. We got some gems included in that, didn't we? Because of the card pulled. What was that?
Oh yeah, the card that was pulled. It was 50,000 gold pieces worth of gems.
Yeah, or 25 pieces of jewelry with the same value.
So they're worth much more than the whole room.
Yeah.
So I would say if we're gonna take anything with us, we'd be taking that.
Are you going to take the deck?
Yeah.
Pijo is going to sneak it because it brought so many shinies just out of it magically, and he's interested in that. Unless somebody stops him, but he's gonna nick that.
Are you going to try to nick it quietly? Like, are you going to attempt to hide the fact from the party that you're taking? No?
I think he's just gonna...
You're just going to put it in your pack?
Yeah.
Okay. Averine, for your sake, there is his spells. Broken up into spell level sections. Okay. All right.
So, what was Tower able to discern about Shago's condition?
So, using a medicine check, he seems fine. With a 16 that you rolled during the off time, medically he seems fine. He seems fit. He's taken a bit of damage from all of the effects that Valindra had kept pushing out, but he doesn't appear to be drugged at all.
I'll ask him. So, do you think that means he'll come out of this himself in a little while, or is there anything that can be done for him? Can he get healed in the meantime? Does anyone have that kind of strength left?
I am down to not too many spells. With a short rest, he should be able to heal naturally.
Well, I think.
So Shaga, I take it Shaga's going to get some hit dice as well.
The point that you get, Tower, is that there is nothing medically wrong with him to suggest why he's like that. If there's nothing medically wrong with him and he's like that, then what are the chances he's going to snap out of it in an hour?
We do not know. Medically, there's nothing wrong that I can tell. There is no physical condition or toxin that I can trace, but it may be some kind of spell. I do not have the power on me today, but if we take him, I may be able to do. It may be similar to the monkey madness. I might be able to prepare something to try and take him out of it by the morning. He seems obedient. We should be able to move him. Okay.
Okay. And
perhaps you can try blowing that horn that Raznizi had you blow. It seemed to have a calming effect. And if Shago's mind is troubled, perhaps this will aid him.
if it didn't work the first time, why do you think it would work the second time?
Because sometimes two is better than one.
I will keep that in mind, but we'll try that later, maybe. Everine, do you still have the Volo book on you? Can I see that while we're resting? Thank you.
So you're cracking open Volo's Guide to Monsters to open up to the section of you, effectively. Right?
Not
Yeah,
spirits
yeah.
and specters.
I'm trying to cram as much information as I can about Dendar and what he has to do with any of this.
Yeah. Like most deities, Dendar is very much not really that physically involved in their behavior. So a lot of the stuff in Volo's Guide should tend towards descriptions of the way the Yuan-Ti venerate Dendar rather than what Dendar does for them. Other than just granting them power.
That works.
Okay. Anything else? Then at the end of the short rest, yep.
No,
Okay.
oh,
Well, I would have Song of Rest. I don't know if that gives him extra.
yeah, presumably Shargo and Dirk
Healing.
could have recovered some hit points or so.
If he can, though.
So Dirk, I will roll hit dice for him. At the end of the short rest, he is going to kind of wake up and approach you all. We should probably get headed, regroup with my team, and go get the rest of the. Well, we've got all of the cubes now, right?
I think so, right? I don't.
Gregory had all of the cube. Well, he had his share.
Which one was Grigori?
The red.
Nasty guy, red.
Oh, right. Fair enough. Okay. All right. So we got to get those back. If we're quick, we might be able to get them without having to go through the traps again.
Dirk doesn't know this.
Does Dirk not know that?
I didn't tell Dirk
I thought-
that. Not in front
Didn't
of
you
Dirk.
mention?
Not in front of Dirk.
Oh, fair enough. Right. Then
I'm afraid
how do we get him back to get the
the cubes are
Yeah.
lost, friend.
roll the deception check? Did you know otherwise?
Oh, this is gonna be rough.
This is gonna be good.
Oh, like a -1.
I don't think I've ever seen
just
a
to
zero
make sure
before.
people see that. That is a 0 on his deception check.
Wow.
That
Good
is
job.
that's pretty much Tower standing there like they're gone. They're not around anymore. Kind of okay. All right.
My sound. I do not like your impression.
Where are they? Where are the puzzle cubes?
They are gone. They were with Gregory. That is the truth. Where is Gregory come?
I thought Grigori would be back by now, but he's not. But I know he's safe. I know he's okay. So the only thing I can think of is that Loic can't just send him here without him coming into this plane himself. And
Where is Lloyd? If it is not in this plane.
Loic is in his own plane. Loic's in Pandemonium.
Do I know what Pandemonium
Do
is?
you know what Pandemonium? You should do.
I think Tower would know Pandemonium. He knows enough about the planes.
Yeah. Then yeah. You've never been there because you haven't really done much planar travel, but you would know that it's not a holiday destination, to say the least.
Maybe for weirdos.
That place does not sound. Pandemonium is not a place any better than the water plane.
No, but he's got this amazing fortress. Apparently, I've never been allowed. I was never allowed to go there, but he's got this amazing fortress. So it's his haven. So if he's there and Grigori's there, and Grigori doesn't upset him, if Grigori doesn't upset him, then he's fine. And then I'm sure he's fine. But I don't think he can bring him back here unless he can,
Grigori is already lost to us.
Grigori's not physically here.
I don't.
He'd be fine, but he's not. He's just physically no longer with us at the moment.
You seem to have a lot of faith in this guy, so I have faith in you. So I believe you.
Thank you. Well,
we'll get him back afterwards.
Enough about the guy. Where are the cubes?
Oh.
With the guy. They were in his bag.
Right. I know you're lying. So.
That is not a lie. They are in his bag.
Please don't call Tower a liar. We've just tried to help you out here. So let's all kind of get along. We've had a hard morning. Yeah, look, poor Zola's had a hard time. Let's all just. Ooh. He's not lying. They were with him. But if they've changed plane, then the chances are they've been reset.
Thank you. So
You're
saying they've been reset?
Yes, potentially. That's our understanding of the situation.
Okay.
Our understanding of the situation was that if they left Omu, the physical place of Omu, they would be reset. The bag of holding itself is a different plane, pocket dimension, so moving planes may not affect it.
But we do not have the bag, so
potentially
the bag is lost.
The cubes have been reset,
but potentially, more than likely, hopefully, they've just been reset. So we might be able to just go to the club. So it'll be fine.
Okay.
First, we need to get out of here.
There is an army of Yuan-Ti to one side and a Hydra to the other.
Army Hydra.
You rule Omu, do you not? You can tell them to make way for you.
I don't rule Omu. I have a contract that says I own all the treasure to be found within Omu.
But this is treasure, is it not? And we need to transport some of it out of the door. So do you not have any jurisdiction?
Maybe you can convince them.
Because you said you're such a guy.
That's your job, to convince them to leave us alone.
So while they're having this discussion, it's the end of the short rest. So Averine will start casting the Fabricate spell, which takes 10 minutes. And she'll be grabbing the items around the room that we don't need. I'll grab those pillows and Rasnisi's desk and that chest over there. We'll use all those things in my new chest.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you're just crafting the chest. You're not actually making the magical version yet, right?
You can just hang out for another hour, and then you can...
Arcane Recovery only works once a day.
Oh, it's already spent. Yeah, okay.
Now, while I am using magic to create this chest, the chest by itself isn't magical, not yet. I won't be able to make it shunt into the ethereal plane until tomorrow morning. So until then, we'll have to load everything up and just carry it around like a mundane chest.
Do you think walking out with a big chest of treasure is going to create animosity?
Well, we might be able to get away with anything we want to do at all if we went with the option that I explained to you earlier and succeeded.
Perhaps you can remind us, Zola, of what your plan was. You know, in case someone wasn't paying attention or just didn't watch the previous episode.
Doc was sleeping, did not hear it.
Yep.
So, Fenthaza and Rasnisi are dead. Before we killed Fenthaza, sometime around the time in which this happened, she told me that the Yuan-Ti would follow the next, what's called a nightmare speaker. And it's supposed to be a conduit from which Dendar speaks to some extent. I know that they have 3 seers left, that were directly under Fenthaza, but as far as I can tell, they are the highest ranking entities left within the organization. So if we were to convince the majority of them while they're still together that I am the next person that they should follow, they might actually heed me.
It sounds like a reasonable plan, Zola, but one that will mostly rest on your shoulders alone. All I might be able to do to assist would be to offer a prayer of guidance to the Magister to help along with their task.
A skill check.
The downside of doing this is that if it doesn't work, a couple of us will be in a room full of angry UNT. The good side is that if they do heed us and start to feel like they want to follow me, we could get the chest out at a leisurely pace and do as we please there. And we could also potentially do something about the menagerie of slaves that they have where Shago came from, where I found him.
Aye, we should do something about the slaves.
Do you feel like doing it with intimidation, or do you want to be a bit more political about it? Because we can do it one way, and as Carmen holds up a hand, she'll have a dark cloud with a lightning bolt sparkle with prestidigitation. Or we could do it another way and have a ray of sunshine, like So, choice yours.
I think with these people, politics and terror are one and the same thing. So,
Stormhouse, sunshine.
But the thing is that they seem to put a lot of weight into working within themselves. In other words, I might explain that their former leaders were working for foreign powers, and that's not all right. So you guys being foreigners and being my muscle probably wouldn't have an amazing effect if I just walked out there and threw their heads in the pit.
Oh,
I obey me.
So I'm thinking to help you, we can stay back and I can just make you the star of the show. So if you want thunderclouds, you want booming, you want noise, whatever you need, we can do it.
Additionally, we can disguise ourselves as UNT. To give you more backup.
Is there any chance that they could see through it?
I do not know. Can you see through it?
I don't know. I haven't tried. Okay. Well, yeah, if you want to put a little pepper on me, I won't say no to that.
My question is, however, do you wish to actually claim power, or do you wish to create shock and awe and buy us enough time to leave? Claiming power and securing it may take more time than we have. Leaving a power vacuum and allowing the UNT to fight amongst themselves may buy us more time in Omo as someone makes a claim.
My preference would be to attempt to impose myself as a temporary ruler at least, because I think that if I could get them to heed us again, many, many benefits. If I could spin it to where they have been serving undead masters, then I might be able to get them to turn around and start eliminating the undead that are in the immediate vicinity.
If you're gonna take over the whole place, be like the leader, which is great and all, we could get a lot out of it. And I'd definitely love to maybe work with you in the future with the city of Omu, and we could make some sort of deal between us. But aren't they going to want you to then lead them? Are you going to just convince them to follow you and then stay with them and we'll say goodbye to you? Or are you going to somehow convince them that they need to follow you while you go off and do something else with a bunch of foreigners?
I only specifically, my priority is us getting out. Secondary priority being to save the slaves. Well, I should say secondary priority would be us getting out. First priority is breaking the machine, no matter what. So I do not intend to stay. If we can just get out of here, I don't care what they do in the next 10 day. As long as we get into that tomb. If they are in a state where I can recover them after the 10 day, then we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay.
I trust that you have a good handle on the situation, Zola. I ask that you just let me know right before you go in so I can say a quick prayer for you.
Is there anything left of Nasi's body that I could take?
Yeah, most of the wrappings is still there.
Okay, I'll take what I can that remains of him that is identifiable.
Head?
Yeah, most of the head.
Okay, yeah, great. And then Tower, can I please borrow that sword? Thank you. No. Strap it on.
One more, we've seen kobold. Well, there are kobolds running around Omu. Great guys, I'm sure. We haven't really spoke with them. Being the whole, draconic and your lizard, like reptilians, you and I, would it benefit you having me with you? As opposed to your foreign friends. I could be one of those from Omu.
I'm pretty sure our goals are aligned, at least for this, right? And I'd like to make sure that I believe him.
Roll an insight
in
check.
This.
He's cooking something up.
No.
His mind is whirring. You can tell his mind is going really quickly, trying to come up with some way that he can be the one that comes out on top of all of this. You can just tell that.
We can act as you want to. She will not. Me and Common can support her in this. You can stay back.
I'm on to you, little guy.
Hey, come on. It's okay.
It is for now.
Fine. And then are you just planning that maybe we can walk out the front door?
Yeah.
Zola, if you get any opposition from the hierarchy, you must be swift. You cannot have anybody trying to disrupt your power play. You must kill them instantly.
Okay. We'll see what throwing these heads at their feet does first. Perhaps it will be enough. They won't want to singularly step out of line. If they do strike, they'll want to do it in mass, which they won't have the time to do. Okay.
So,
does anybody know how these little teleporty, circly things work? Do we have any that we can still use?
Did Grigori tell anyone?
Yeah.
Grigori did tell us how the devices worked, but we took pains to ensure that they wouldn't continue to work, so we could be safe. We destroyed each of the sigils. Would it be possible for us to repair the sigils?
Not easy. Not in a couple of minutes. To repair them, by breaking the sigil, you broke the enchantment. You would have to rebuild the sigil, then restart the enchantment process.
There's also the doors into the ritual chamber that lead from there and into the throne room. Valindra had told us that the doors were locked and only Raznizi had the keys. When I searched his body, I didn't find any on him, but I did find these from Phantaza. I haven't had an opportunity to identify any of their magical properties, but since they bear the sign of your Night Serpent, perhaps you should wear them or use them in your upcoming encounter.
I'll take them for now.
Okay. They are magical, or at least 4 of the 5 keys do appear to be magical.
If the doors are locked, perhaps Dirk can get them open for us. he appears to be the type of person who would have that skill set.
I can certainly try.
He can open the door. You just can't walk out there with me.
Can we remove Fazra's head as well?
Fenthaza's head? Yeah, you can take her head too.
Wonderful.
You need to make sure that all of the hierarchy is shown and displayed.
Is there any? Are there any remains of Valendra that can be used to show some kind of meddling, or is she just dust?
It's just dust and ash.
Okay.
So, let's have.
Who has the dagger?
Oh, I still have the dagger, but did you want to take it
Isn't
back?
there something like inside? It's a soul collector, and lynches don't have any souls, do they?
No, they don't.
Right. Okay. Curious if how that would work against them.
Specifically, the dagger is made to tear a soul apart, not necessarily steal individual souls.
Okay. Is Shargo being compliant?
Someone, yes, if people instruct him to follow.
Shargo, stay close
Okay.
to Avery and Pedro.
Zola, am I coming in with you? I can hold a head. I can carry a watermelon. I can carry a head.
Can you disguise yourself?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll carry the heads. It's important that I hold them. But yeah, if you want to turn into one of us.
And I will
Tao
do that.
will also disguise self.
Okay.
Oh.
Please tell me your disguised self has the same picture.
No. But that actually
fair.
spells prepared for some strange reason, but I have it. It's my racial feature.
Okay, fair enough. So, as you guys are coming up to the door, Dirk is there just with his picks and really carefully fiddling with the lock. Eventually, with an incredible 28, he manages to unlock the non-unlockable door. And then he just simply says, "The door's unlocked. Are you sure you don't want some support from, the leader of the Yellow Banner?"
I'm going to get down. I'm going to lower myself from my 7-foot height down to his eye level. And I just say, "Not from you."
All right.
Teo, I have a question for you.
And I have an answer for you.
Oh, good. I would like just and preempting this now, so it's said when the door opens with Pijo, I would like to see if he can, I guess, get a spot on who looks like they could be a threat, so he can throw a hunter's mark in them in case it becomes necessary, so he can kind of have their back when if things go awry. I don't know what kind of roles that would take or if that's possible, but that's kind of what I was hoping he could do. If he
Instinctively, that's what you would do. You would find the easiest thing, and you would. That's fine.
Okay. Question: Is Shargo still big and strong, and although he's compliant, can he hold the big chest?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there we go.
He can carry.
Shargo the pack mule.
Okay. So, you open the door. What do you do immediately? As you open the door, you see a horde of Yuan-Ti. You can see them on the map just next to you. They're all in audience. They are screaming and shouting just all sorts. It's quite so much of a cacophony that it's difficult to really understand what is being said. And up on the balcony, above this pool of blood, you can see the 3 seers that had helped to transform Zola. They're trying to calm the people down and quieten them. But as soon as the doors open, everything goes quiet.
I'm going to hold my head high and move at a very calm pace, casual. I will casually slither into the room, up one of the serpent heads, into the vein. I'll probably get a little bit dirty.
Mm-hmm.
End up there. And then I'll look at the room. And then I'll hold the heads up. And then I'll chuck the heads into the pool, the Fane.
Okay. The heads drop in and just bop about a little bit before eventually, almost unnaturally, rotating over so that their blood-covered faces are staring up at the sky with terror. The Nis, out of the three of them, just leans forward towards you. What do you intend, Mika?
Gonna just kind of stare at her and then turn to the rest of the room. Do I have everyone's attention, undivided?
You have everyone's attention. The room is filled with purebloods, Yuanti Malazans. You can see some human gladiators that appear to be chained and beaten, blood dripping down them already. You can also see some slaves, the individuals that look like their heads are wrapped in blue, are slaves.
Some of you may have heard of me. I am the daughter of Nisi, and I was once called Mika, but my name is Zola. I was created to aid our culture in surviving the next step of ascension. Some of you have already heard the rumors. Nisi and Pinthaza had fallen into servitude to foreign and undead masters. This is not the way of the Night Serpent. Now they are dead, and we can begin making up for our misguided actions under their command. We can begin to accomplish that by delivering a message to the audacious elements that would try to enforce their will upon us. If your loyalty remains with Dendar, you will do this by exterminating the undead around Omu, starting immediately. Your little blood rituals have also been performed in vain. You think these sacrifices aid in the Night Serpent, but the Night Serpent feeds on nightmares, and dead slaves don't dream.
Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
The rituals continue, then it will be assumed that those who perpetuate it are also enslaved by the undead, and I will crush their bones into dust.
Okay, roll intimidation with advantage.
As a +4 for Averyne's.
The guidance, yep.
Yeah.
I'm making it dark. She's getting shadows behind her. It's rumbly. I'm doing a whole light show going on over her.
Unknowingly, you begin to tap into your nightmare abilities, and you instantly witness everything that these guys are terrified of, and you kind of feed off of that to help build you up and just cast out your terror and your intimidation. The crowd was beginning to like the things you said. What was that? Sorry, I didn't.
I was going to lean into comment and go, that's a really good light show.
The crowd go quiet. They look at each other. They feel power and energy coming off of you, and they want to feed off of it. You can see that. And so slowly one person begins to raise a fist up, and he starts calling out Mika. But then someone else calls out Zola, and immediately the person corrected himself. It's now Zola. Zola, 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 Zola.
I was going to
and then the chant
and clap and get it going.
The chant eventually changes from Zola to Denda, 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 and they seem to be invigorated towards it. And you appear to have captivated the entire room. The three seers behind you drop to their knees. Zola, what would you have of us? We served your predecessor. What do you require?
You guys have your own organized units, platoons, right?
Yes.
I need you to tell the commanders of those platoons that they need to start eliminating the undead around Omu. Those are now our enemies.
Okay. It shall be done.
And no more killing slaves, because they need to be alive in order to have nightmares.
Can we kill them just a little bit?
No.
Oh. Dang.
I'll think about it.
Okay. So, you have grabbed their attention. They love you. Are you going to just walk out the front door?
Nis,
Yes.
I need you to show me to the armory. I need to re-outfit myself in proper attire. We are about to leave on an expedition to clean up Nissy's mess, and I will be back in a 10-day. Try to keep the place together till then.
Okay. Then she will lead you towards the armory. Step one, obviously, get off the plinth by using the teleportation node. And she actually leads you to, and I shall reveal it. First of all, the side room on here. She drops you or encourages you to come to here. Not necessarily for anything that's in here. What you see as you follow Nis through this room is this is a leisure room. It's where the Yuan-Ti played with their slaves and just spent their downtime, more or less. She'll lead you through the group of people who are beginning to separate and move through, getting rid of any of the undead, and will eventually lead you towards the rooms that are the barracks. So I'm just gonna. We don't need to actually physically go to them, but specifically to the eastern side. She leads you to a room which has a guardian Naga in it. The creature doesn't seem to act aggressively towards you as Nis just walks in and almost strokes it like a pet, this great beast, and shows you this is the armory. If you need any equipment, it is all here. Everything that is strictly the like a typical Yuan-Ti equipment is there. So not really much by way of armor, but there are weapons, scimitars, arrows, bows, that sort of thing.
Does anybody have any studded leather in this place?
Let me double check. You have 10 suits of scale armor, 50 scimitars, 20 longbows, 20 short bows, 50 quivers containing 20 arrows each. There is a shield up on the wall, but that's about it.
Okay.
No studded leather armor.
Well, I'll grab 2 quivers of arrows. I noticed that many of our Malisons carry poisoned arrows. Are those available?
You will find each of the arrows here are poisoned.
Perfect. All right. 2 quivers of that. And I suppose nothing else.
Okay. Then she will lead you and the party, if there are no objections, towards the main gate. Any objections?
Tao's going to lean in on to Zola and whisper, if we wish to take the slaves, perhaps rules. Maybe we need bodies to enter the tomb and set off the traps. Perhaps this lie will allow us to take them with us.
Turn back around to Nis. What are the consequences of taking the slaves with us? We may have use for them. Would that be too much? Would that set everyone off?
I believe it would be unwise to take slaves without providing more. We feed off of the slaves. We enjoy the slaves. If you were to take them from us here, not only would it be suspect, but also it would spur people on to have to collect more. And that just seems like too much hassle.
That's what I was
I would
thinking.
prefer if you collected your own slaves and brought them in, than forced everyone to take new slaves.
What about the turtle? I heard you have a turtle. Can we take one?
You may take one.
Well, you can't tell me what I may and may not do. I'm asking if it will upset people if I take one.
Yes, mistress.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bring the turtle.
Okay. She'll go out and go get a turtle. Stephen, it's up
Yes.
to you.
Oh no.
Do you want the turtle to be Greco or some other turtle?
Oh, that's
Knowing
a
full
hard-
well I can't have 2 PCs per player
Mhm,
running around, so
mhm.
one of them's going to have to die soon. So,
Oh well, so if one of them's gonna die and one of them's gonna live, and it's between Greco or Peugeot dying.
no,
Oh, I
I
see.
don't mean it like that. Would you like Greco to join the party here as part of this, or would you like it to be some other turtle? I have prepared for both.
Okay. Well, for I guess out of character talk, going into the tomb where we're heading, do y'all think Peugeot or Greco would be a better asset for the party?
Well, Peugeot can fly.
Yeah.
That's good.
But Peugeot's going to want to touch stuff.
He is gonna want to touch stuff. I guarantee if there's a giant green devil mouth, he's gonna want to put his hand inside of it.
If PJ sets the trap.
But that's it, mate.
uh,
But then, oh god.
Matthew's going to have a new character, so it's not clear what
That's true.
his character will bring. I say play whoever's fun.
Yeah.
Whatever you feel you'd like to play. They're your characters.
Your characters.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, I have. Do you need an answer now?
If you pick Peugeot now, then there will be another opportunity for Greco to join later.
Okay, because I would like to. Well, I have to decide now if this is Greco though.
Yes.
Shoot. If it's Greco, I have to make a level 8 sheet for him, right?
I've still got his old one.
Yeah, I have his level 5 on D&D Beyond also. It would just be a matter of
but
leveling
yes.
it up. I think I'm going to stick with Peugeot for now.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Then the Nis goes back, pulls out a turtle. It is a female turtle, fairly older woman. Her shell is broken. There are whole chunks of it that have been torn off. You can see through to the scarred flesh underneath. And she's walking with a cane to get out.
You're with us, slave.
Yes. Yes.
Nis, you, Koltha, and Arakati are in charge until I return.
Yes.
Again.
Miss.
No blood rituals.
No blood ritual.
That actually helps our enemies. So none of that.
Okay. So, the entrance is... You guys are led towards the entrance and past a Triceratops. Because that's fun. And the guard basilisks that they have. The pet basilisks. But when you get to the front entrance, there's a sight that brings a certain member of the group to his knees.
Oh.
Oh no.
As Broodguard are feasting on the rest of the Yellow Banner crew.
Oh.
Yeah.
The distraction had failed.
Or did it?
Well, yeah. I mean, it worked as a distraction, but... yeah, true. So, Dirk, doesn't say anything because he's obviously putting on a solid face. But you walk past the rest of his crew. Everyone that he brought to Omu is now dead.
Perception check.
Perception check the weapons.
Would you like to loot them?
Does any of them have studded leather?
Do any of them have magic longbows?
No one has magic longbows. The drow is wearing studded leather, but it's damaged. You could mend it if you had a mending available.
Oh, Feline, I am so sorry. At least you will know that your stuff went on to make a difference.
And the oaken bolter is broken. Unfortunately, so is the flail snail shield that was placed on top of it. It's been shattered into many small pieces. So that's beyond repair. So you guys head back to the city of Omu to assess the situation, successfully getting out of the Fane of the Night Serpent. What are you going to do?
Sorry.
Huh?
I'm going to approach Dirk and I'll be like, I am sorry for your people. They brave and good.
Well, they died doing what they loved, following my orders. So
There. Yeah.
I'm gonna have a drink. And he will pull out a wineskin and just start necking it.
I'd like to turn to the turtle.
Yes.
I didn't mean what I said before. I was just trying to get you out of there. You're free. Can you get out of the city on your own? We have to go places and do things.
I'm free?
Hmm?
This isn't a game. They tried this before.
Nope. I am actually
Roll a
from
persuasion check.
9-0.
Can we assist?
Yes, you can. So you can give her advantage. If you don't look threatening.
No, I'm not friend.
Have we changed back yet?
No, we get an hour.
So you still a non-threatening looking you on team?
Yeah. Because I'm smiling.
I'm a non-threatening abomination with a big snaky smile.
Pijo's not threatening. He's odd, but he's not threatening.
So she will she'll kind of hesitantly look around the group. Okay. All right. I have a village that I came from, that they took me from. It is just outside Shilku, on the Shilku Bay, west of here. When you're done, come, have a tea. I would like to thank you for freeing me.
What is your
Sure.
name?
My name is Galen.
If you are worried about getting out of the city on your own, if you don't think you can, there is a weird tabaxi guy hanging out on the bridge. He may be willing to help you get out.
You may have to kill him, though.
No, I don't think he's going to see her as a threat.
Okay.
However,
She'll pick up the stick and start waving it about.
He just wishes for an honorable death. The stick will do.
All right.
But curiously, we have encountered another turtle on our travels named Greco. Would you happen to know him?
Because I'm a turtle, I know all other turtles.
No, because you're a turtle of Chult, and so is he. He never told us which village he came from, but his village was attacked, and they may have been...
I know many Grecos. Greco is a very common name.
He would have gone by a different name at that point because he changed names a few times, as turtles do.
I did not notice. My people don't have names, so I do not know if Greco is common or not.
No, it hails from the great Geico turtle. People honor him by calling themselves Greco. Okay. Thank you. She'll wave the stick and just start to hobble off.
Pijo, this is for you.
Yes.
And I give him one of the quivers of arrows, poisoned arrows.
Ooh, quiver. Thank you. And there's 20 of them, right?
20 more poisoned arrows, yes.
Nice. Now, I'm curious. Are those also 2d6?
Yes, it's exactly the same, because you took them from the UNT.
Right. That makes sense.
Aveline, which cubes do we have, and which ones do we need to collect? The map is quickly translated.
Well, I'm not sure which one's Aveline. Well, Aveline had the 3 new ones plus others, right?
Aye, the 3 that we haven't hit yet were Nangalore, Obulaka, and Unk. Those are the 3 we recovered from Razdisi's treasure room. I also have the puzzle cube of Ijin and Moa.
Okay. And me just double check. So you've got Ijin and Moa.
And Wongo.
That is good because thankfully Moa was the one on the lava pit, so you don't have to cross the lava pit again to get that one. Do you have Wongos?
I do. I've always had it.
Oh, you've got Wongo. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Wongo, so 6, 12, Ijin, 10, and Obolaka. Oh, no.
The Oblaka is what we recovered from Raznisi. Moa is what Everine had before Raznisi.
Okay, so Averine had Moa and Zola has Wongo. Okay. Then if, as you remember, as best as you do... Okay. So you have 12... Okay. So the ones currently crossed out are the ones that you have. And thankfully speaking, all of the other ones shouldn't be much of a trouble. As you guys go around to grab everything, you'll notice that all of the traps or the puzzles that were set in them more or less didn't close off anything afterwards. So you have a straight line to the plinth that has the cubes in, except for one of them. The first shrine you ever went to. The doors closed. The stone doors closed in on themselves, and Zola, if I remember rightly, Zola and Pijo got out using Dimension Door.
That's right.
And then Tower
So
busted through them.
I thought Tower managed to open it like right at the end.
You did in the end.
And I came in and they were gone, and I was like, oh no, they're dead. And
oh right.
Like this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Then collecting all the shrines, as long as you do it quickly, and this is all you do in the day is just running around as quickly as possible. The Yuan-Ti activity is considerably lessened because they were in the Fane for the ritual at the time, and there are no Thayans or anyone else in the city. Valindra finished with that, so the city is empty. You wrap up, grab all of the cubes very quickly. As night begins to fall, you finally have the last of them, and you begin to get your camp set up and get prepared. You'll go back to one of your little hidey holes that you had created previously to rest up for the evening. But the next step is the tomb.
We don't have the hut for the night.
Yeah, we do.
Do we? You got it?
Yeah.
You got one more?
Yeah.
So, is there any other things that you would be doing to prepare this during this day or this evening, knowing that there's nothing stopping you from entering the Tomb of the Nine Gods?
1, I'm gonna hand Tower back the sword.
Okay.
2.
Okay with me having this sword. This is your father's sword. I did not ask you before because you were dealing with considerable stress.
Well, thank you for asking. I do kind of want it, but not to use it. Does that make sense? Like you can totally borrow it. Is that all right?
Absolutely.
When we're done with all of this, maybe I can hang it up on a mantle somewhere. In memoriam.
Maybe you can place it on your ship.
Yeah, we'll see what happens after all this is over, if we survive it.
When
Avery,
we survive it.
I like that optimism. Avery, can you do anything about this armor set?
Aye. It'll take me a minute or two, and I'll cast Mending on the armor.
And you'll be able to fix it up over the course of a couple minutes to have fully working piece of studded leather armor.
Thank you. And lastly, how is Shago?
Strangely, still dazed. All day, still dazed. Just following Tower around with the big chest in his hands.
Okay, this has got to be magical.
So I can now. If we don't have any time crunch, I can ritually cast Identify, and it'll take 10 minutes. Shago, dear, come down here. Let me take a look at you, and I'll magically see if there are any things affecting him.
Roll. Well, you cast Identify. There are things that affecting him that you can see. Specifically, there is a very powerful enchantment on him that is a twisted combination of necromancy and illusion. This isn't Shago. This is just a construct created in the likeness of Shago.
Shago, dear, can I have that chest, please? Pardon me for just a moment. Would you mind checking out the road over there to make sure there aren't any dangers afoot?
And
How do we not
off to the
notice him
side.
grunting the whole time?
This seems like normal behavior for sure.
So, funny story. That's not actually Shago. It's apparently some sort of animated construct made to look like Shago.
It looks a lot like Shadow.
It looks very
Why-
much like Shago.
Why would somebody go through so much trouble? That seems very, very forward and rude.
So what you're telling me is I lost a dad and I lost a mate and I did not regain my brother.
Well, the last time we saw Shago, he was heading off to safety, perhaps.
That's true. That's a good thing.
Tower's going to approach Shaga. Right? Can Tower discern, knowing this now, that he doesn't want to say this in front of her. This isn't a Shago skin. Like
No, it's
someone's taken
definitely not a
Shago
Shago
and
skin.
then used his body to create it.
So one of Peugeot's preferred enemies or whatever is undead. So what kind of knowledge can I roll with advantage to maybe identify what this is? If it's even undead, it might not be undead. So
It's not undead. It's literally a construct, so unfortunately you don't. You
Dang
can
it.
roll an Arcana check if you've ever
I
heard,
will.
Yep.
-1, let's see.
Nice.
Nice.
What's the result?
16.
16.
16. Okay. You've heard of constructs being created and used before. There are different types of constructs. Flesh golems typically are made out of flesh. Clay golems are made out of clay, as you would, judging by the manner in which he was created. You can actually discover that this is a shapeshifter that has been forced into the form of Shargo.
Well, guys, I think that this isn't just some kind of zombie thing. I think that's a shapeshifter that is looking like Shargo. I don't know why. I don't.
Not willfully. Like it is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's a construct made out of a shapeshifter body that has been illusioned to look like.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
That sort of thing.
So I relay that it's a shapeshifter who was turned into a construct and who then has an illusion, so he looks like Shargo, but it's not Shargo, and it's a construct. And
can I have a persuasion check? Because he just sounds like a conspiracy nut.
And he is a conspiracy nut. That's just...
Okay, Pijo, we believe.
Thank you. Pijo absolutely believes that, what Tower just said.
Well, what are we going to do about him?
What... Does it, have a will of its own? Does it have thoughts in its head? Or is it just like a thing?
So with my Arcana check of 25, do I know that it is probably serving some purpose?
So his Arcana, so Pijo's was just him to understand. You, having used Identify, you completely understand what this is yourself. So it's like creating a clone almost, a duplicate of a being, giving it some semblance of life. It doesn't have much more than just an animation of life, a replication of life. So there is no will. There is no actual mentality within it. There's no soul, definitely. It is just a golem, effectively, that has an image plastered upon it that is Shargo. So his purpose would be to serve and follow command.
So I guess what I'm trying to find out is if he would potentially have some other person issuing commands to it.
Absolutely not. No.
Absolutely
to
not.
follow, absolutely not. There is no connection to any other being. There doesn't seem to be any commands that he is following, or none of those effects on him. He is literally just a hulking pile of flesh that will follow whoever tells him to follow.
Tao surprisingly understands this now, being intellectual. So,
Intellectually.
yeah.
Right.
It's gonna just
Carry on.
approach the flesh golem shapeshifter. Please assume my ship. I want to see if he changes. No.
Nope. Stays in the form of Shargo.
His shapeshifting form is fixed in this state then.
So this would have been Valindra who had done this, surely. She's the only one who knew what Shargo looked like.
I think this is some sort of emotional game she was playing with, so...
Is it wise to keep it around then? For Zola's sake, as well as if this is still holding the shape that was given to it by Valindra, we don't want a Valindra reminder kicking around either, surely.
Well, if we ignore what it appears like, it might be useful to have something that can walk in front of us and set off traps.
This is correct. I agree.
True.
This creature has no will. It has no soul.
And I am absolutely certain it is not receiving commands from anywhere else or operating under any other previous set of commands. 100% sure it's not happening anywhere. I totally know for sure this is the case.
The only concern I have is this creature seems to be compliant to anyone and everyone. Well, as long as we are aware of this, he will not be good in a fight. Possibly, if somebody tells him to stop, he will obey.
Why don't we test it out? Big guy, blue, tower, yeah. Why don't you give it a command, and I'll give it the exact opposite command at the same time, and we'll see who it follows.
Shargo, strangle duck.
Chicago, strangle tower. So, to split off, since they're contested, we're going to have to contest charisma between the two of you. So, you get to pick any charisma-based skill that you wish to use, and Dirk will do the same thing. And the person who wins, Shargo will follow his command.
Carmen's going to just whisper to the Shargo super quick as they walk away, Shargo, strangle Dirk. Just to make sure Tao wins, and then she can do it as well.
Okay. I know when I'm not wanted.
I'm get my charisma as well then, so.
Let's see what power does. That's not bad for a -1. Oh.
Or is it just not straight charisma? Oh, it's persuasion.
It's you get to pick any charisma-based skill you would like to use for this.
Okay. How did I get?
We got 4.
That's really bad. I've got a +10.
Natural 19.
Shargo begins walking towards tower with his hands out.
Shargo, stop! As Everine says.
Okay. All right. The contested like when orders are given to it at the same time, that's when there will be contests. Since he was about to follow the order, that's when he gets another one that says stop. So he stops. Aha. There we go. I proved myself, says Dirk.
You have one more follower again.
Yeah.
Do you wish us to place a yellow banner on him?
I think maybe the yellow banner could just stay still. I think we could create another group.
Like a red banner, or a pink banner, or a purple banner, or a
Yellow
blue
banner.
banner,
Periwinkle.
or a green banner.
Okay. Think
The yellow banner
Dirk's
is already quite red.
duo.
That's okay.
I like
All
it.
right.
Dirk,
So-
it sounds like the yellow banners purpose for being in Omu may have come to an end. Do you intend to join us in the tomb of the 9 gods, or is your path lead you elsewhere now?
I still have the contract, and I've still got a job to collect those treasures.
I could steal the contract from you and rip it up.
In the words of your friend that's sadly not with us anymore, may he rest in pieces wherever he
He's
is.
not dead.
Yeah, sure.
He's not dead.
How about we make a deal?
Go on.
I'll give you the contract.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I'll leave you alone. You get me those prime treasures that my party had mentioned previously. The Eye of Zaltek, the Skull Chalice, the Navel of the Moon. You give me those. And meet me in Port 9 Zaro to give them to me. Then you can have this contract of ownership. How's that sound?
The 3 treasures that your band was sent to collect did not include the Skull Chalice. I think the Skull Chalice was a separate item. That was the item that Grigori contracted with the princess separately.
Mm-hmm.
So if we're to honor this contract, then we'll need the Skull Chalice, I believe.
There were 4. Sorry, with the whole move thing, I don't have actually my books next to me. Let me, doing everything off of memory, let me just find the treasures. Because I know there are actually 4, and I thought I had named the 3 that you don't have, but Skull Chalice, yeah, that makes sense for that one. So let me just pull up the names. Bear with me. Yep. Fabled treasures. Here we go. D&D Beyond is very useful for this kind of thing. All right. Yes. So you keep the Skull Chalice. I'll take the Navel of the Moon, the Eye of Zaltek, and the Black Opal Crown. Okay. I'll take those 3. You keep the Skull Chalice. Sound good?
So if I am to understand this correctly, you want us to go into the tomb without you, brave all of the dangers, retrieve the priceless treasures, and then deliver them to you.
Yes.
And what do we get?
The legal rights to everything else. I'll sign it over to you right now.
I think the legal rights are wishful thinking. The princess wrote up a document promising you things that I don't think she has the right to promise you.
All right, fine. I was kind of hoping I could hold this a little bit longer, but fine. Okay. I have a piece of information about the tomb you may wish to know.
Insight check.
Insight check.
Well, I'll wait for him to do it first and just see if it's true or not.
He's not going to say it. It's just you make your promise. I promise to give over the information that I have been given, that I acquired. He seems honest. Seems like he has something up his sleeve.
Who is your source for this information?
Well, reliable source.
I'm going to roll an insight. Specifically, I want to make sure that he's not trying to give us like information that's the tomb is in Omu or something that's, kind of useless information, but it is information. And that he knows is giving us a bad deal. Ugh, never mind.
Yeah. You got no idea. Averine,
Yeah, okay.
He definitely looks like he's got something that is actually, like, he's proud of the bit of knowledge that he has.
So this knowledge will help us stay alive within the tomb?
Well, stay alive. Maybe not, but it's definitely something you need to know if you want to go after that machine thing.
Well, we intend to go after the machine thing, and if we don't destroy the machine thing, we'll not be coming out of the tomb. And if we don't come out of the tomb, we won't deliver the 3 items that you wish. So you should give us the information if you want the 3 items.
Deal. You swear to give me the 3 items, I'll give you the information I say.
I didn't I didn't say that I would give you the 3 items. So if you want the 3 items, we have to defeat the machine. So if you have information regarding the defeat of the machine, we'll take it from you. Because that would...
For the 3 treasures.
We'll sell you
give them
the
to me.
treasures. We'll sell you the treasures when we get out. We'll
Okay.
make you a good deal. First offer.
All right. Fine. In Port 9 Zaro, you'll find me. The information I was able to receive. The tomb was created by a lich, right? And he roped other liches in to help him. Well, those other liches weren't too happy once they realized what was put in the lowest level. The information I got was from some people call themselves the Harpers. Apparently they've trapped a lich and they've managed to get the information out of him. So it's reputable, you know? Totally reputable. What you seek is behind a door that requires 5 keys. The keys are hidden throughout the tomb. You'll have to find them. But they don't look like normal keys. That's all I know. They don't look like physical keys. Right?
How will we know a key when we see it?
I don't know.
We should look at the door and observe the locks first.
You want to go all the way to the bottom level to look at the door first and then go through the rest of the thing to... that I'd love to see.
The path to the door may be simple. The path to the keys may be the hard part. We are unsure right now.
All right, but that's all I know. I'll meet you all in Port 9 Zaro. I'll be taking my wonderful presence out of here. I'm sure you'll miss me.
If you ask for audience with the merchant prince that is, well, her name is Xanthi. If you ask for an audience and you offer her a report on what has happened here, I'm sure she'll put you up for free.
Wonderful. I will tell her everything that has gone on.
Okay, thank you.
Farewell, adventurers.
Bye.
Stealing himself up, he then walks off.
Have fun with the red banner.
Shargo, come on.
Shargo, stay. We didn't do a deal for Shargo.
We didn't do a deal for Shargo.
7 is not very good.
Shargo, stay. Bye, Jack.
All right. Peace out. And he's gone. All right. You guys now stand at the entrance to the Tomb of the Nine Gods, or at least you've headed over there. We're going to take a 15-minute break now as the party grab a drink and prepare to enter the final tomb. So, on your screens, you will see a Who's That Monster for this week. Thank you very much, guys. And so type in the chat what monster you think it is, and we'll talk about it afterwards. So see us in 15 minutes, guys. Welcome back, everyone, after the break. Thanks for joining us again now. So, during the break, we had the Who's That Monster, so let's bring it back up on stage. And today's Who's That Monster is a Nightmare Speaker. So just as kind of the last session and this session has been based around Fenthaza was a Nightmare Speaker. These beings that kind of are the religious leaders of the Yuan-Ti. They are the representatives of Dendar the Night Serpent within their communities. Zola has become a Nightmare Speaker hybrid. Not completely as a nightmare speaker, so she's not a monstrosity in terms of spells and things, beast classification. She is still a humanoid, but now she is a nightmare speaker as well. So, we rejoin our adventuring group. They have all the cubes. They have said goodbye to Dirk. The only other NPC in the group now is a mute construct. So they head towards the Tomb of the Nine Gods. We're going to go towards the front door. Yep.
Before we set off, I need to... So in the morning, Averine, after the long rest, will cast Fabricate one more time to create a miniature version of the chest that she created.
Okay.
So the full chest is created of materials worth 5,000 gold pieces. The mini chest is worth 50 gold pieces. So she casts Fabricate one more time to make a mini chest. And then she casts Secret Chest so as to make this chest be able to be stored on the ethereal plane.
Okay.
The chest of holding.
The components, an exquisite chest, 3 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet, constructed from rare materials worth at least 5,000 gold, and a tiny replica made from the same materials worth 50 gold. Okay. You hide a chest and all its contents on the ethereal plane. You must touch the chest and the miniature replica that serves as the material component for the spell. The chest can contain up to 12 cubic feet of non-living material, 3 feet by 2 feet by 2 feet. While the chest remains on the ethereal plane, you can use an action and touch the replica to recall the chest. It appears in an unoccupied space on the ground within 5 feet of you. You can send the chest back to the ethereal plane by using an action and touching both the chest and the replica. After 60 days, there is a cumulative 5% chance per day that the spell's effect ends. This effect ends if you cast this spell again, if the smaller replica chest is destroyed, or if you choose to end the spell as an action. If the spell ends and the large chest is on the ethereal plane, it is irretrievably lost. So, that 50 gold piece chest needs to be kept very safe.
So I will take the Ring of Winter, put it in that chest, put the little chest in my pocket, and I had intended for only the Ring of Winter to be in this chest when we had a bag of holding, but now we have all these other things to carry around as well. Does anyone want to decide what goes in and what goes out of this chest? It has roughly 12 cubic feet of space with which to store things in, or for which to store things.
I take it we picked up the shinies.
They're in the chest.
Yeah, they're in the chest that Shargo is carrying. Are you going to have Shargo carrying a big heavy chest walk with you through the tomb?
No, I'm gonna use the secret chest to shunt it to the ethereal plane when we're done deciding what's in it.
Right, yeah.
Pijo is going to just take one of the shinies to have, just to hold on to, in case he gets, worried or anxious or anything inside of the tomb.
Pijo, I know that the shinies are attractive, but
they're shiny.
Zola produced those shinies by pulling a card at great personal risk to herself.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to take it, you probably should ask Zola.
Okay. Zola, can I have a shiny?
A shiny?
I mean, I would like more, but I'm trying not to overstep.
You're a good boy. You're a best boy.
Is that yes, or is that?
Yes, you can keep that one for sure. When all this is over, I'd like to split it up evenly between us.
Oh, of course. Of course. But he just holds the shiny close.
Does Pijo still have the deck of cards?
Yes, he does.
He does.
Just so I know that they're going into the tomb or not.
Zola, do you want to keep the treasures in the chest, or do you want to keep them on your person?
Oh, no. Chest, yes. Why would I want to keep them on my person? That'd be silly.
But I've also spent time identifying those 2 potions. There's one of diminution, smallifying, and there's one of giant strength. Do we wish to split those among us, or carry them on our persons, or put them in the chest?
I'll take that potion of diminution.
Inspiration goes to the first person who can pronounce it correctly.
Diminution.
Diminu-
We already have inspiration for last session anyway, so.
Diminution.
Pijo did it first.
Point of order: the last night tower would have attuned to the flame tongue longsword, and a question about the rings.
Oh, they recharged.
Rings have recharged.
Yeah.
Do you both need to be attuned for the transfer to work, or is it just you need to be attuned to do the transfer?
You need to be attuned to your ring to be able to use the other ring's location.
Yeah, so I could be unattuned to my ring, but she can still be attuned to hers and transfer to my location. That's
but if you're not attuned to yours, you can't use her location.
Got you.
Absolutely. Okay. Cool. For the moment, he is attuned to that ring. But...
Carmen, do you want to carry the Staff of Healing, or would you prefer I do it?
Can I carry the Staff of Healing?
Yeah.
It requires a magical affinity that I sense in you, and Tower. But Tower wears different forms from time to time, so he wouldn't be able to make use of it.
Okay, then yeah, that'd be handy. I don't mind carrying that. That'd be cool.
Zola, did you want me to identify those keys?
Yeah, that's a good idea. In fact, I probably should have taken them out, but so be it. Here you go.
Okay. So do you identify each key individually? Do you spend 10 minutes with each to be able to ritually identify each one?
I retroactively doing this overnight. Yes.
Yeah.
It'll take all the time in the world to do it.
All right. There were 5 keys. 1 key is mundane. The other 4 are not. Okay. The other 4 keys are one-time use items. You can use the magic in a key to remove 1 point, to remove 1 point in 2 ability scores, or 2 points in 1 ability score, to transfer them to a different ability score. If you would like, these are 4 opportunities to slightly adjust your ability scores.
Can we get above 20 with that?
You can get above 20.
Is anyone going to try to do that now? That's going to take some thought for me.
Yeah.
Consideration.
So I think I want to get that 22 dex, but I don't know. My low scores are so low already. I don't know if I want a -2 charisma. Then again, what does it even matter at that point? Like,
how many social encounters do you think we're going to...
I could lower Tower's intelligence some more anyway.
oh yeah, you have the band, so it doesn't matter what you do. You can just. Oh goodness.
So what is it? We can have 2 extra.
So you know how with an ability score improvement that you get at like level 4, you can either increase 2 of your ability scores by 1, or you can increase 1 ability score by 2.
Okay.
You can do the same thing, but you must take those points from other locations.
Got ya.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the key. So we've got 4 keys.
You got 4 keys. These keys are to unlock a person's potential.
Oh.
Can you take 1 from 2 and add 2 to 1?
Yes.
I think you said okay.
It's gonna take a
Okay,
month.
well, If I get one, I know what I'm doing, but I don't want to just take one because there's 4 of them and there's 5 of us. So
I'll not be. I recuse myself from this deliberation.
All right.
Of course, there's no limit to the amount of keys that one individual uses either. One person could use all 4 to just completely mess with themselves.
I mean, Averine with a 28 intelligence would be pretty hard to contend with.
A question. If our current wisdom scores are... All right, so my current wisdom score is 18. If I was to use the key now to take it to 20 and then had an ability score upgrade on the next level up, can I take it to 22? Or is it that's not the way around we could do it?
These keys, not only do they increase your current value, but also the cap for that value. Okay. So if you're already at the cap, you can increase it, but you can't increase the cap more than what you're at. So, but if you've still got some leeway, you increase the cap with it. It's like having a Tome of Understanding, but you have to remove points from somewhere else.
I could potentially take Tower up to 20, and then I've got a level up after this. So I'm just going to take him to 20. I could take him to 22 on the wisdom front. Is anybody up for that? This immediately?
I think since Averine's recused herself, you're completely capable of using it how you want. I think initially we should each get one until we've decided. And then if one of us doesn't want it, then figure out what to do with it. So go for it.
I'm wondering if it's worth me punching into one or the other.
So I'll remember that the keys are in shapes of this Dendar fella, and I'll try to remember as I was identifying them if I could sense if there would be any negative consequences other than reducing an ability score.
Quote, identify does not reveal curses. Close quote.
Oh dear.
If they are cursed, you don't know if they're cursed. You don't know what negative effects would happen if there were. Reducing certain scores is still quite a negative anyway, to some degree. Swings and roundabouts.
So I'll say, when I identified the Ring of Winter, I was quite certain what its properties were, but it my recollection of doing so, I remember that I didn't detect the curse that was upon it. These keys are in the shape of a deity that I consider to be foul. And so use these at your own risk.
You would just hang on to it for now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
scaring us out of it now.
It could be useful.
Such a party pooper.
Yeah. All right,
way to go,
so what would you guys like to do now? Anything else prior to the tomb entrance?
I would send in.
Yeah.
I don't. So Carmen wouldn't want to use up too many send-in spells because she needs them for where they're going. So selfishly, she's not going to send to Grigori or Loic on the understanding that she knows he's okay. So and she.
You don't want to know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's just I'm just going to leave them to it, and she knows that he's all right. If he's coming back, he would have been back by now. So
Probably safer than me.
Exactly. So she will do a send-in to one last send-in to her father to just say where she is going. Yeah.
Okay.
So
your father is on the material plane at the moment.
yes.
And in this point in time, you can get a message out to him. What are you going to say?
So I would say entering Tomb of Nine Gods. Will destroy machine. Love you. Loic has companion. Also, I killed Valindra. Do you know who Valindra is? Do I need to give surname? Or is Valindra enough?
It could be. He could research it.
Okay.
He has the power.
Okay. I killed Valindra. Oh God.
Shadow Mantle.
Shadow Mantle. There you go. Then. If anything happens, yeah. Just love you. Take care.
Okay. I'm getting tired of gods interfering. Take care of yourself. If anything happens to you, we will come get you.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. That's what I wanted to say about Grigori. So if he needs information, he knows he can get it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else? All right. So you find yourselves now at the entrance to the tomb. Remembering the first time you came here, there was an illusory wall that blocked off a secondary entrance. You have two doors in front of you, both of which have these grids of squares that the cubes can fit into. Standing in front of one of the entrances is this huge obelisk. The obelisk itself had a carving on it, some information, text, which I believe I showed to you once before. Yes, I did, but I will bring it up once again. Fear the night when the Forsaken One seizes death's mantle, and the seas dry up and the dead rise, and I, Acererak the Eternal, reap the world of the living. Those who dare enter, take heed. The enemies oppose, one stands between them. In darkness it hides. Don the mask or be seen. Speak no truth to the doomed child. The keys turn on the inside only.
How many keys did Dirk say there was?
5.
Dirk mentioned 5.
This information is probably important for us to casually review it again. Being drawn to this obelisk with this information on it again.
We have 5 riddles, and they can Tower. All right, this is a bit of a determination. We've got 6 statements there, and 5 of which seem to be referencing a clue towards a key, and the last one is how to use the keys.
Yeah. That would make sense.
This is what Tower states.
Could be. Roll an intelligence check. Just straight intelligence. Anyone.
Yeah. Okay.
I got intelligent all the time, but it wasn't very wrong.
Are you proficient in saves?
No.
No. Okay.
No, I'm bad save. That was just straight roll.
All right. Straight intelligence, Averine. The fact that each of these are individual sentences with full stops seems to be deliberate. These are 5 separate statements. I can give you as much to state that these 5 things do not refer to the same thing. They refer to 5 separate things.
I believe each one of these represents some clue to how we obtain a certain key, and then the last is how to use them. We should keep these.
Okay.
So, which entrance are you going to?
The secret one.
The sneaky one.
All right. So, presenting yourselves in front of... Go ahead. It's not blocked anymore, is it? You guys can see the leftmost entrance. Yes, you can.
Oh, no.
Who are you?
Old tower there. Old tower.
Where?
Oh.
Yeah.
Hello, old tower.
Hang
Look
on.
how you matured.
Oh, right. I didn't
You
see
got
that
much
because
better.
there was...
We can have 2 towers in place of Gregory.
No, give me one
So your
second.
conversation towards each other was funny.
Octopuses.
What did you
Octopuses
say?
everywhere.
What do you mean? Oh.
That was a very good tower.
So
The
one
new
tower.
Vision tower knows what metaphor is.
Does new improved tower know what metaphors are now?
Yes.
One tower will summon 8 pixies. One tower will summon 8 other things, and then each pixie will polymorph each of those 8 other things into giant apes.
Yes.
I like this plan. Also, I don't know if this is relevant, but my screen doesn't have any dynamic lighting coming, so Peugeot is just standing in a pit of blackness on my Roll20.
Does Pijo have dark vision?
He has those goggles that give him dark vision at 60.
Tower's
Then
gonna,
let me make that change.
Tower will take out the flame tongue sword and project and turn it on and project 40 feet further light.
Carmen's got dark vision, hasn't she? Being an LB.
Okay. So, Tower, you attuned to the flame tongue sword then?
I said this earlier. I tuned
Yeah.
last night.
Okay. All right. So 40 foot.
So 40 foot of light and then 40 foot of
That noise.
partial light. It's a beam.
Oh.
All right. Anything else? I think everyone else should be able to see things. There's because of so many objects in this room. My screen is going slowly. If your screens are going slowly as well, I will change the dynamic lighting to just manual. All right. So you all prepare. You stand yourselves in front of the gate. I'm going to move you over to the screen of the puzzle cubes. You should see and should be able to control. If you can't control, let me give you all control over the cubes on the bottom.
Oh, cool.
So you need to place the cubes in the right spots, or any spot really, but where are you putting them?
Well,
Oh.
Unk goes in the middle.
That seems to make
Should
sense.
Should we determine that a specific one of us is doing this? Is that relevant?
Story-wise, generally, I think it probably would be.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if also there's a matter of like, should we be declaring who's putting them where, so that in
case there's a trap.
Yeah, because if that's the concern, Peugeot, like, if
Yes.
we should be declaring, I'm going to volunteer Peugeot to be the one to handle the potentially trapped door. He'll put them where you tell him to put them, because he's not one to question.
We got Shargo to do
We
that.
have to take
Oh,
shots.
we do have Shago. Never mind.
How does Zola feel about this double of her brother being treated like this?
Her skin has been crawling since she found out. revolted completely. But she's not saying anything. She's not showing it because everybody else has already glossed over the subject, not asked her. So it's just like, okay, well, they seem to really, really want to keep him. So I'm just going to not say anything and try not to drag the team down there.
Okay. All right. So you should all have control over the right 5. Slowly, because it's acting very slowly, giving you control over the other ones. So someone act on behalf of Shargo and drag the first one into wherever you're placing it. Okay, so you place the Unk piece in the center, and it sinks in, like slides in, almost perfectly fitting that space as it shuts in place. Once it's in, you hear a slight shift of rock. It is stuck. Okay. And then what else are you guys going to do? Where else are you going to put the other pieces?
I think it should go left to right, up to down. Moa, Shigambi, Kobuzan, Obalaka, Unk, Ijin, Papazotl, Nang Nang, and Wango.
Why do you think that, Zola?
Because they are opposing forces, and they will all be aligned in opposition to one another.
So in the upper left-hand corner, who do you think should go there?
Moa.
And when you say opposite, does that mean diagonally opposite or vertically opposite?
Both. For Moa, the opposing position would be the bottom right, with Unk in between.
It seems to make sense to me.
So which one's Moa?
It's the Chikuli.
Okay, so you're placing Moa in the top. Oh, sorry, that was my bad. In that corner. And which one are you putting in the opposite corner?
Wango.
Okay. And you know which one Wango is? Okay.
That one.
They all just sink in. What's next?
Okay, great.
Do we hear rocks in setting?
Every time you place one in, it sounds like it kind of locks into place.
So
Carry on, Zola. I think you've got the trick of it.
I've been thinking about it since we came up on this door and learned about the puzzle cubes. And then let's see if this is the one that I'm not sure. So, and there.
Okay. Keep going. They both lock into place.
All right. Next one is Shigambi in opposition to Nang Nang.
Okay. Again, locked.
And Obolaka in opposition to Ijin.
Okay. So, Ijin, the order doesn't actually matter, but what's key is the opposition. Ijin opposite Obolaka, Kubazan O opposite Papazotl, Moa opposite Wango, Nang Nang opposite Shigambi. Perfect. Good job. Good job.
Well done.
So we'll move you back as soon as the last cube goes in, the shifting of rock sounds again, locks into place. The whole doorway begins to just shudder and slowly rise. A puff of air just escapes out as dust is sprayed all around everyone's feet, almost like a little fog reaching out towards your ankles. Let me grab that. This is taking far too long. There we go. Okay. Revealing another door behind it, 20 foot behind. As the door opens, you guys look on the opposite side, The secondary door. There we go. All right. Another slab blocks the hallway about 20 foot beyond the first door. You can see set into the door's surface is a huge iron lever. The iron lever has a graven skull set in the tip of it, and it's raised up so it could be pulled down right in the center of the doorway.
So as you said that there was a fog. Is it like the blue monkey?
It was more
madness?
like it was more like dust just suddenly collected it around your feet and then blew away. No, it's fine.
I'm just gonna roll a perception, and I'm looking notably to see if there's any trapdoors or secret doors or panels that could fall out or anything to that effect.
Okay.
Hey, PJ.
To make a test, but he wants to be looking to see if there's any additional levers or anything else. That this seems like the obvious lever. If there's actually an actual secondary lever or something.
Okay. So perceptions, both of them. Yep.
Pijo, did you happen to keep that fancy lantern?
Oh, we had talked about that. Yes, was the plan. But we didn't talk about it in here, but that was yes.
Yes.
How's that work?
I'm holding the fancy lantern.
The lantern of revealing.
Yes.
Okay. So the lantern of revealing, while lit, this hooded lantern burns for 6 hours on 1 pint of oil, shedding bright light in a 30-foot radius and dim light for an additional 30. Invisible creatures and objects are visible as long as they are in the lantern's bright light. You can use an action to lower the hood. So are you lighting the lantern?
Yes.
Okay. Light illuminates, sheds around the room. Nothing is revealed.
Okay. I'm gonna. Oh.
Tower, with your perception, you don't see any other levers. Everything looks normal. There doesn't appear to be any sort of traps, no trapdoors. It's just the door in front of you with this skull-tipped lever embedded into it.
I have advantage if there's secret doors involved. So I don't know if that 19 or the 8 obviously is not going to get anything, but okay.
We should have fake Shago pull the lever then.
Before we do that, before we cross this threshold past the secret door, or not the door with the puzzle cubes, should we? Do you think we should try to retrieve the cubes out of it, or prevent the door from closing, or anything like that? Zola, I already see your head shaking.
No, the UNC are no longer a problem in this regard. So I don't imagine we'll have a whole lot of opposition following us. We will, however, have people following us who are trying to accomplish the same thing we are, which we want to happen. So if we block their way, that might be bad.
Well, I'm concerned that the door is going to close if we pull that lever. Behind us, or depending on where we're at when the lever is pulled. So should we try to prevent it from closing? I don't know, engineer some sort of stoppage.
Big rock.
Yeah, something to prevent the door from closing.
We could try a big rock. Worth a shot.
I do a search for big rocks.
And you will find a big rock. And I'm sure you'll probably get Shago to lift the big rock. Shago will pick up the big rock. His strength is actually far greater in this form than in his normal form.
I want to roll an insight to see if Pijo would notice what Zola's not telling us about her feelings on this. Sorry, because he might want to interfere. 14.
So if Zola is going to try and hide her true feelings, whisper to me a deception check.
So the advantage of blocking the door from closing would be that we could escape should we need. The disadvantage to blocking the door from closing is that anyone can follow us in. Do we see that these? Do we see value in one over the other?
I think a way out is always good to have.
Hey, Joe, you
the
notice
way-
something is wrong.
I know something's wrong. Okay, but just that much.
And
Keep
the
going,
way-
Tower.
The way in is also obscured by magic. Only someone with your skill set, Avery, would know to come in this way.
That's true.
So there are more gains than there are risks.
Okay. Well, then, Shago, if you could position that big rock just so to prevent the door from closing, I'd appreciate it.
Rock in place.
Thank you.
Okay.
Like Shagot.
Oh,
No,
wait.
fully.
But before Shago, stop. I might be able to just pull it with my mage hand if we want to just keep us all safe.
But keep away from the door.
Okay, yes. Well, I'll cast mage hand to see if I can pull the lever.
You cast Mage Hand. So you cast it, a spectral hand appears next to you and then crosses the threshold into the tomb and is dispelled.
Mm-hmm.
Mage Hand will not work in the tomb.
At all?
So the door... Okay, so in front of us is a door. And
So you guys are still stood behind the door that slid up. You've not actually crossed the threshold yet. 20 foot past that door is another one with a huge iron lever in it. When you summoned the mage hand, one or two things happen. You either summon it past the threshold next to the iron lever and the spell fails, or you summon it where you are and the hand goes through and gets dispelled. Indicating to you that a Serarak, if he created this place, has messed with magic here.
Was it that lovely?
Now it's going to cast a fireball, create flame, and just chuck it in there to see if that stays or it gets dispelled as well.
The control flame flies through without a problem.
It appears to be only your magic.
Oh snap.
Can we look at the door? I don't want to volunteer anyone, but what if the door is open? Can we just walk through the door? Or what if it's an illusion door? Like,
I'll volunteer.
I just fired a fireball at it. It probably.
It hit the stone doorway and just kind of cracked against it.
okay, well, Zola, yeah, I was thinking that maybe the door's open. You want to try it?
Yeah. So I'll actually slither in. I will slither halfway up the wall and then around the edge of the door frame and then onto the other wall and then up the ceiling and then upside down. I will begin to properly investigate this door and I will move it a little bit to see if it budges.
When you get halfway into the room, so about 10 foot into the corridor, on the ceiling, even so, the skull's jaws creak open, and a skeletal hand protrudes out, holding a crystal hourglass-style timer. It then turns over as the sand begins to run down. 10. 9.
Is the door
Ow.
open, Zola?
I don't know. Is it
Eight.
a budge?
You push the door, nothing happens when you push the door.
No. 8
7.
seconds.
Get back over here.
I'm slithering out.
6.
I'm stepping back also. Can we step back?
I'm just going to step back.
You all step back. You wait 5, 4, and then you move. Okay. You wait for the timer to run out. When the timer runs out, the hourglass slips back into the skull. Skull's jaws close. The door's open.
I did it!
Oh,
The doors open to reveal a moss-covered corridor extending beyond it. Tree roots hang from the sagging ceiling, and the air reeks of rot and damp. Seemingly, you opened the door.
seemingly.
Did the outer door attempt to close?
Okay.
Firing another fireball down there.
The fireball goes, catches onto some of the moss. You got a little bit of a flame that's just going to stay there and burn away slowly.
This is going to be a very slow.
This is going to be a very slow dungeon.
Every 5 feet, we're a little paranoid.
Mhm. As you stand where you are, you can see past the corridor. It splits into a T-shaped intersection. In the center of the T-shaped intersection, you do see a devil's mouth, a devil's face mask. Up on the wall, it is appears to be made out of green stone, green-colored stone or something. But the mouth is open to utter darkness.
I grab Piju. I say,
There's nothing shiny there. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. I don't want it. But he's
Piju,
reaching
don't you do it. I'm gonna let go.
Does it look like a bit like a green Grigori?
Yes, it does. Trying to see if I have maybe a picture.
Is that the image
Are they
we've seen on the
of
cover?
that.
There we go. So that is the green devil face. You see that up on the wall. The mouth is open, but it's just utter darkness beyond it.
It looks a little bit like Grigori with a hangover.
Yeah, the nose is too big.
Just to test, I cast Mage Hand again.
Doesn't work.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in and be
You
very
must
careful
focus.
and watchful.
Okay.
Let's go slowly. Yeah, full on high level perception check
Yeah.
for traps.
So,
Yeah.
what is everyone's passive perception when it comes to traps?
19.
Mine's really low. Why not?
16.
11.
But for any, again, with secret doors, if that's somehow involved, it's advantage, so that's +5, so that's 21.
Okay. So,
11.
Zola, or anyone that happens to have passive perception over 15. You guys notice that the wall is riddled with tiny little dart holes as you progress. And just at Zola's feet, so I'll give Zola the benefit of the doubt, underneath her feet is a pressure plate.
She doesn't have any feet.
That's true.
That's
That's true.
She's on the ceiling.
Zola,
She's on the
are
ceiling.
you on the ceiling?
Yes.
You did say you were on the ceiling.
Okay.
I think you can say that.
Oh, how high is the ceiling in this place?
Dancing on the ceiling.
All throughout here, the ceiling is 10 feet high.
Oh, that's not much at all.
Nope.
It's enough for me not to stand on pressure plates, though. So
Right.
seeing it, because my passive was high, it was also over 15. So seeing a pressure plate on the ground, I'm gonna just take up to just enough to be above the ground.
Yeah, the tower's going to stop where he is, and he's going to beckon everybody else around.
I'll point out all the pressure plates that I see.
Yep. There are 3. And so avoiding them once you can see them is not difficult. Okay. So, keep going.
It appears this is not going to be a simple task.
Did you think it was going to be? Should we go left or right?
Peeking down the corner on either way, can we see
So-
anything?
So
Looking
last-
to your left, you can see an iron grate set into the corridor floor that just looks like bars going across it, very thin gaps in it. Beyond that, you can see what appears to be a full wall of crystal. It is a bit cloudy, the crystal, so it's difficult to be able to see through. But especially from this distance, but you can see a crystal wall. To the right, you just see another corridor that opens up elsewhere.
Right. I'm going to step forward to get a better look. Just to there. Or I guess not step forward. I'm going to flap forward a little bit.
Okay.
Can I have a where that grate in the floor is? Can I have a look at the walls to see if there's any sign of like dampness or water wear? Because it feels like that's a drainage system, and I want to see where the water would come from for the drainage.
So the whole place just feels muggy. Feels like there is a lot of air, a lot of water in the air. It's very humid in here, as per simply all of the moss that's been growing. The moss is damp, and the place appears to be rotten, but it doesn't look like there's any sort of source of water above the grate. But you look down and you can see through the grate, or at least briefly if you look down it, a river of muddy water flowing below it. Okay.
I'd like to cast the light cantrip on my shield just to test and see if any of my spells work.
Light works. So you find there.
Well, Pedro, the last time we had to make a choice between left and right in a dungeon, we went right, and we successfully navigated that. Perhaps we should do the same again.
I am curious, by where I'm standing, I don't know what Pijo can actually see and what is just on the map because of the roll 20. Because on my map, I can see past where the crystal wall is on the left, and I can see kind of fuzzy things to the right. Are those actually visible to us, like fuzzy
Those
stars?
should be actually visible to you.
So what am I seeing on the left and the right past the crystal and then past whatever this little partition is?
So specifically you, looking to the left, I don't know if this trick works for you, but it certainly works for me. When I click on your token, select it, I press Control L, and I can see only what your line of sight allows me to see.
Oh, that's fun.
I don't know if that works for you, but using it, you look through the crystal, you see a shifted form of what appears to be a crypt, a stone sarcophagus, behind which appears to be a huge shield with lots of circles on the shield. The shield is being held up by two bear statues.
Bears in the animal, not
as in the animals. Arr. Yep.
Oh.
To the right, you can just about see a bit of blue faint light illuminating another of these stone sarcophagus.
And do I see anything that was invisible with the lantern within 60 feet?
Within 60 feet of you? No, you don't.
Okay.
You do notice, obviously, the lantern of revealing does not illuminate the space within the devil's face.
Tempting.
Indicating it is some form of magical darkness.
Okay. Well, I'm going to relay all of this information. The stone sarcophagus to the left, past the crystal, with the two bear statues and the shield, and then to the right, the other sarcophagus to everybody behind who can't see to the sides that I can.
Are there bushes and such in there? Is it just moss?
Just moss in this area that you're in. It's just moss.
And no pressure plates on this end, you said?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to inch a little further. Yeah, actually, I'm going to close up the lantern, and I'm going to inch over to the right, since it looks like there's more of a pathway that way, to see what I can see moving forward, just to the end of the hall.
Okay, so Pijo, as you float over to the right,
Mhm.
you notice a couple things. For one,
Yeah.
you are stood at the top of a huge spiral staircase.
Right.
Okay. You look immediately to your left, and you can see a set of stairs that works its way down to the next level of the tomb.
Mhm.
On the opposite side of the wall, on the next layer down, you can see another plaque, similar to the plaque on the obsidian plinth, with more writing. It's in common, you can tell that much, but from this distance it's really hard to be able to read it.
Okay.
Stood next to that plaque, staring you straight in the eye, is a dwarf.
Hmm.
As
Does he look
just
friendly?
stares at you. No, he doesn't. He lifts up his axe, puts it on his shoulder, turns around, and walks away into darkness, out of sight.
Okay.
You
Guys,
can
there
see
is
that the corridor works its way, around
Oh,
on
yeah,
this level. There is an exit on the other side where you see another devil face, though this time there is light that is coming out from inside of its mouth.
Uh-huh.
You can see on the north side, as the balcony makes its way around, there's another corridor that goes north.
Mhm.
And then immediately to your left, before the stairs, another corridor going north.
So where was this tomb dwarf on the map?
So
And where did he
exactly
go?
opposite your current position,
Okay, on that platform over there.
but on the level below.
Okay, got it. And the plaque was on the level below as well.
The plaque was on the level below.
Okay, got it. All right. Well, guys, there is as I was seen, so I don't know if that's good or bad, but somebody saw us and they did not look friendly, but he left. He didn't attack, so I think we're safe. All is good on that front.
What was he? What was he?
He was a dwarf.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a little dwarfy dude, and that's fine.
Okay.
It's okay to be a dwarf.
Yeah.
And so there's another one of those green devils, but this one has lights, and it's all the way on the other end. And if you come over, you might be able to see it. I'm not sure, but there's definitely light. So it's not like the spooky one. It's more of a friendly one, like a friendly devil, like Grigori.
All right.
Can Tower just go back to the black devil in front of him, or the green devil with the black thing? Can he just take a arrow and poke the arrow into the black?
Okay. You poke the arrow into the black,
And then
nothing happens.
bring it back.
Pull it out. Yep, it's fine. Nothing happens to the arrow.
It's all right. I'm gonna poke it back in again. Can I kind of
Stir it.
just?
Are you trying to feel any other walls, or are you just literally...
I'm trying to determine if this is a darkness spell contained inside the mouth, and there's actually physicality behind there, or if it's a void and it's...
Okay. There is physicality beyond it. As you put the arrow in, you can feel the rim on the inside. It is physical. You're not going to be able to feel the back of it, though, without putting your hand into the darkness.
Okay. Gonna take the arrow out, and I'm gonna get my great sword out.
How long is the blade?
I would say a great sword is usually about 6 feet.
Okay. All right. So you then do the same thing. You start feeling around for the edges of the space. You can feel that there is a tunnel of sorts. It seems almost spherical, but again, 6 foot is not long enough to reach the back. You can feel further, so you can tell that there's definitely a physical space beyond here, but you don't feel the very back of this.
Tower, what are you thinking?
There's So I'll tell Avery there is something. I believe this is magical darkness. There is physicality. It seems to be some kind of tunnel.
So
Nothing is being destroyed in it, but I do not wish to stick my hand in there.
Can Carmen prestidigitation some lights, like a spotlight, into it and see if...
It doesn't illuminate past the barrier of utter darkness.
Okay.
So can I tell whether or not this is actual magical darkness?
You could roll an Arcana check to see if you can figure it out.
30.
Yes, there is actual magical darkness.
All right. If you think it's worth it, we are supposed to be collecting these keys, so I guess we should check every nook and cranny. I can dispel the darkness, perhaps.
Perhaps you could send your familiar in.
I do not wish to send my familiar into the darkness.
That is fair. Well, I could always conjure an animal to go in there if your dispel does not work. But we could try the dispel.
Do I have Unseen 7?
You can crawl on things everything.
If I've got it. No, I don't have any more. So
All right. I'll cast Dispel Magic at level 3.
oh. I don't know.
And as you do so, there we go. Dispelling the magic on this, the darkness immediately disappears, revealing the inside. Can I grab that? Revealing a small little hidey hole on the inside, which you can see through using the little bits of light. However, there is a creature inside that, as you illuminate the space, is going to reach out to attack. So I'd like everyone to roll initiative, please.
Oh!
As that which was hiding in darkness is going to attack.
Hiding in darkness, as in the clue on the placard.
Wink, wink.
Mhm.
Come on. Don't know why it's going so slow. I have to do it manually, which is fairly annoying. Okay. What is it? It is Shadow. Sorry, bear with me a moment. Also, Shargo, being what he is, does not get involved in combat.
Say, Shago, mind those spots. Don't step there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So initiative for him.
Shago, do you like the name Shago?
It is a confusing question to ask something that has no will.
Zola,
Okay.
would Zola prefer it if we called him something else?
Yes.
Zola, what would you like us to call him?
How about Dandy?
We can call him Dandy.
Can we have this conversation when we are not in the middle of a fight?
No, this is important. This is Zola's feelings.
Zola, you've just heard the flap of wings, a bit of a screech after Averine cast Dispel Magic. Not sure who the screech came from. What would you do?
Can
Currently,
I fight?
you don't have line of sight on it because it's still inside the hole.
Can I fight? Did the hole look like it was big enough to fight through?
Oh, it's big enough for someone to climb through. It's
Okay.
It's big.
All right. Then I will drop down on the ground.
Okay.
And get to here. And if I can attack him from here, I will.
Okay. You can attack him from here.
Great.
Unfortunately, an 11, unless you can do something to the 11, is going to miss.
Don't think so. I don't think I automatically get advantage if no one else is around or anything.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So that's okay. I got a second attack. Well, a bonus action attack. So I will hit that guy with a 23 is what I'll do.
That'll hit for 5 points of piercing damage. It hurts, and he screams a little bit.
And you can dump 22 more points on that.
Nice. For sneak attack. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, and then I'll move back to where I was. Which was, I think...
And because you're a swashbuckler, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Zola?
That'll do it.
Averine.
So can you describe what the creature looks like? From what I can see?
From what you can see, it looks like a being of darkness. Almost like when you dispelled the magic, it almost collected into one single form. That form is a winged shadow creature.
Okay, so I think Averine would know that fiends and devil types are resistant or immune to fire. So do I get the idea that this is a fiend or devil type?
Yes, you do.
Oh, okay. Well, then I won't do that. I'll cast Guiding Bolt on it at first level. The 19 to hit.
19 does hit for 15 points of radiant damage. You notice this creature is actually vulnerable to radiant damage. Takes 30 points of damage and is now glowing.
Then I'll end my turn.
Okay. Tower.
I am going to use my... I'm going to use my action just to I'm going to use...
Quickly now. If Tower has to think about it, Tower's going to run out of time.
Yeah.
Tower's really smart.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I would bring him to us or keep him there.
Keep him there.
So I'm going to let Carmen do her thing. So I'm going to just tank it. So I don't want to use too much. I'm just going to turn into a bird.
Okay.
Is that a good use of the spell set?
No, it's not a spell. So
Oh, okay. Fine.
I can get this back on a short rest. That's why I'm not using the spell.
Step back one.
So
Okay.
I'm just gonna front it up and I'll make 2 attacks to it. Oh, wait there. Shift. Sorry. Character sheet. Okay, there. All right. So I'll do a multi attack. 16.
16 will hit.
Well, 10 damage.
Okay. Your 10 damage is not considered magical, correct?
No, it is considered magical.
For what reason?
Because of the reason I gave you last week. When I'm in my beast form, all my magic damage is, all my damage is counted as magic.
High level druid. Okay, fair enough. Okay. Yep. Then you kill the shadow demon.
Yeah, that was quick.
Nice and easy. With that destroyed, with that solved, what are you guys going to do?
I'll get back up on the ceiling.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even know if that happen with enough time for Pijo to really recognize that anything even happened. That was like snap of a finger. Well, I guess he's a bear, so that's enough to let him know. But
I was a little bit annoyed that he changed form, and now he's like, that was too easy.
Just stay the bear. Carmen will literally sit on Tao's back for the next.
Tao's gonna
for a while, so that she doesn't step on any traps.
Tao's gonna look in the hole and sniff around a bit. Can we see what's in there?
It is just a small. Well, it's about a 10-foot diameter sphere. It was just a hiding space for that creature.
There's nothing.
Okay.
There's nothing in there.
Nothing in there.
Okay.
Right.
Well, that's one clue that we've kind of
Potentially
might reappear, but that's one. Just a really quick side note: have we got portents for Averin today, just in case?
Yep.
Yeah.
cool.
But I will make sure I have light on my shield, since the flaming sword is no longer illuminating us.
Fair enough. So
Fair
are we
enough.
definitely going? Are we definitely going to the right then, and we're not going to go to the left?
I'm exploring right now because I haven't found an end to this path, whereas that seems like that's the end there. So it just seems like it's worth checking out.
So, which way would you guys like to go? You have the stairs that lead down, and it keeps going. If you look at spirals down further and further, about 4 levels, where you see at the bottom, you can't see the bottom because it's too dark.
How high? I'm assuming this is like a gate or something. How high does that go?
Halfway, so 5 foot up.
5 foot. Okay. I am gonna just head straight and not try to go downstairs yet. Just figure out this one level.
So, are you going left or are you going right? Are you
I'm
going
going up.
around the corridor?
I'm gonna try to be sneaky about this though, because I know that there's people around.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll roll a stealth, and I can remove at my normal speed and also be detecting traps as normal. So
Yes.
just putting that out there too.
Yep.
What did I get? Okay, not bad. So I'm going to keep on going to the end of this hallway.
Okay.
And hopefully not set anybody off or anything off.
Nothing seems to be trapped as you head down the corridor.
Okay.
You make your way to. You keep going. It turns abruptly, 90-degree turn.
Yeah.
Whereupon you see another corridor that just works its way further to the left. Kind of doubles back on itself.
I'm going to light the lantern again to see if there's anything invisible down here.
Nothing invisible.
All right, close it back off. I'm going to shout back. There's nothing down this way yet. I'm going to keep on going. If anybody wants to come with, it's dark and spooky, and I could use a friend.
Before we go exploring the entirety of this level, should we at least shore up a corner of it to fall back to?
That sounds like a very smart idea, Zola. You're very smart.
Aw, shucks. You're a good boy.
Oh, thank you. And he kind of like puffs up a little bit.
I'm curious about what this other thing is going on over here with the other mask mouth thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as you can see, it's just an open mask with a bit of blue light emanating from behind it. At this distance, it's really difficult to be able to see what the blue light is coming from.
Zelda, would you like me to fly over there? Or do you want to come across the side? Oh, you're already on your way. All right.
No, please, by all
Just
means.
as you're leaving, like, okay, gotcha, cool. I am going to fly over, though.
Okay.
To this end.
All right. As you make it across, and as Zola begins to make her way across, once you get over to where Pijo is right now, at the other edge of the corridor, you notice that not only do you have the blue light shining from behind, you actually have, in this giant skull, you can see 2 candle lights flickering within its eye sockets. No candles, just tiny little flames that would be candle flames flickering within the eye sockets.
So, okay. Got it. That's weird.
We need magic people over here.
Are the candles hiding in darkness?
It just looks like a stone skull mouth. Mouth is open, wide enough for you to be able to climb through to the sarcophagus beyond. And in the eyes, 2 candle lights.
Okay. Zola,
Pijo?
should we climb into this devil mouth?
I think we should let the others know that it's safe to come this far at least, and maybe see what one of the smarter people think, because we are not so smart.
Fair enough. But I think you're really smart, Zola.
Aw, shucks. It's very sweet of you to say.
Hey,
Hey,
guys, on 5 minutes.
So,
I can't help how charming I am. Hey guys, you can come this far at least. We got a thing.
Big bear.
squeezing through the space, Tower's struggling to be able to fit his hide past the wall.
I'm on your back.
Fair enough.
Does Dandy have any instinct of Shago to ride on Bear?
Nope.
Oh,
None whatsoever.
that's too bad.
So, Zola, as you get closer, you can now see what is creating the blue light from beyond. You can see just behind the stone sarcophagus appears to be a pedestal, another plinth, like you saw all of the puzzle cubes on. But on top of it is looks like a crystalline glass or a glass cube on top with a skull inside that seems to be glowing blue and giving off the light.
Carmen, can you see that?
Anyone that's in that corridor can now see it, yeah.
Do you think that could potentially be the key?
Could be. Should we check it out?
Yeah. First, I want to know what's up with those lights in its eyes. It gives me the sensation that something is active. Can we check that out? Maybe you arcanically and me mundanely.
Can I
So,
check it out?
Perception and Arcana.
Okay. I'm Arcana.
Okay.
Oh.
Zola, you notice specifically there appear to be the lower jaw of the skull is hinged to the top.
Oh, that thing's got a bite. Look.
Oh.
But Carmen can't figure any additional information out of it.
Having seen Tower do the arrow thing with the darkness business, I will pull out an arrow, a mundane arrow, and put it in there and see if it'll trigger it.
Just placing the mundane arrow in, none of you. Nothing happens.
Dang it!
I'll fire a mundane arrow through, aiming at like a wall or something. I don't want to knock anything off a pedestal, but
It'll hit a bit of the wall and shatter.
And nothing happens. Okay.
Is there anything on the floor? So if you were, let's say it was a weight to step through, obviously you'd have to step on the ground behind the mouth. So can we see anything on the floor?
Beyond the mouth?
Well, yeah, kind of like not going in, but just kind of just looking through, because you imagine you've got a step.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't. You've got the floor in front of you.
Yeah.
Doesn't appear to be any sort of traps, as best as you can see with your passives. You could try to look even further, but your passive seems to indicate there's no traps.
Pardon me, Tower. Let me, if I can get past you here.
That Sounds like you snoring.
And so there are 2 candlelight eyeballs.
Yes, 2 candlelight eyeballs and a big gaping mouth that you can squeeze through. Well, not squeeze through. You can easily just crouch and step through.
Do the lights appear to be just lit from a candle, or are they...
There doesn't appear to be any sort of source of the light. It's like having a continual flame, but no wick or anything.
I'll cast Mage Hand again on the other side of the mouth, see if it works.
Mage Hand just won't work.
Oh no.
By now, I would hope Averine would understand. Mage Hand just won't work. Other magics have worked. Guiding Bolt worked. Light works. Mage Hand just won't work at all.
Averine's going to keep trying it.
Fair enough. I'll keep saying no.
The crystal beyond, does it look fragile?
It does, actually. It looks very fragile. Look very thin.
Oh.
Do you recall that first shrine that we went into and we removed the cube off of the pedestal and that sealed the door? I wonder if moving that crystal would be attached to the hinges of this mouth.
We can handle it the same way.
Yeah.
I can see if I'm fast enough, and in case going through it does set off a trap, I might be faster than the trap is.
Well, so we can see the crystal. Well, there's also a sarcophagus, which could be holding a creature. And there are other. I mean, we can't see the entire room, so there might be other things in there as well. And my magic isn't working. There's no guarantee that your magic will work.
I'm gonna try something. I just for my own sake here. I'm gonna slither along the ceiling until I can get to the face, and then I'm gonna drop down and in my upside down position see if I can blow out one of the candle eyes.
You can't blow out a candle eye.
Oh, okay, darn.
It seems to be resistant to wind.
These are my strongest powers. Is this that it?
Can I see anything invisible here?
Nothing invisible.
Okay.
Is there anything we can use to prop the mouth open?
Maybe.
Because it does come down.
Do you have anything? You're dandy.
Dandy.
Got the staff of healing.
Do we want to use staff of healing for non-healing?
Let me check my pack.
Is there not anything lying around on the ground or any rocks?
There's nothing lying around the ground that might help you stop the trap.
Or trigger the trap.
There are 5 things around you,
Okay.
Carmen, that could trigger the trap for you.
Okay. Not being people.
Okay, then there are 0 things around
Well,
you.
one of them is a bear. I would like to see if I can. I know we've seen that there is some mechanism. Can I possibly notice what actually sets off this? Like, look and see if I can find what the trigger
Roll an
is.
investigation check.
Oh, sorry in advance, guys. It's gonna be our second 0 of the day, maybe.
No, you don't see any sort of... There's nothing mechanical about this, the activation of this trap.
But it is a trap.
It's a big mouth with a hinged jaw. It's a trap. Yes, Zola?
Maybe it's there's a second entrance, because this path up here is going in the same direction as the area of the room that we can't see. Maybe we should check there. And if we don't see anything, come back.
I also have this extra shield that has the ability to comprehend languages. I can cast comprehend languages if we need to, with enough advance notice, and I know a few languages. Perhaps I could wedge the shield in between the teeth in such a way as to prevent it from closing.
Could try that.
I would like to try that.
Okay.
I think Zola's right. If we don't, we've established this room is here. We don't need to go in there, perhaps right away. That we've still got more to explore, like Pijo said. So we could come back and, like you say, find another way around. And if we can't find any other way, then we've got the shield to use.
I feel like if I feel like we're gonna find a lot of areas like this that are interesting, and then but not easily identifiable as a way to solve it, and then we'll skip over it. So I feel like if we go to the next station, there'll be a spot there that we'll have to skip also.
We did, but to be fair, we didn't check the first room. We kind of just said there's a door there, let's carry on. So it's fair, but the other room, we don't even know if there's any risk on that doorway, but I don't know. This one makes me nervous. There's a massive hinge on this door. And I don't want any of us to get hurt right now.
If I put the shield, do I have a sense that I'm able to wedge it in such a way that would prevent movement?
You believe so. There is a... you don't know the specific mechanics of the trap. You can make a very good guess that it would work. You can't tell if it would crush in such a way that it'll be locked by the shield, or it'll just pop the shield out, or it'll bend the shield. Like, it's a good idea. Certainly a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
I like to risk it. I'm going to put the shield there.
Okay.
If someone would be so kind as to hold it, I'm going to walk through this mouth and see what happens.
I'll go for it.
Features like maybe someone else should go through.
What are you saying?
I'm saying you got all the armor on, you're way down. I'm fast. If something happens, maybe I can come back before it closes. Zola thought she might be able to outspeed the Jaws. Like, we this is a good thinking. We need that brain. I don't got that brain. All I have
the shield
is a bow.
in place. Someone walk through it.
I think I'll go. This is what I got the Dungeon Delver feat for. So I'm
Pijo,
gonna.
you step through.
Yes.
You jump through. Everyone
Whoa.
else on the other side of the skull notices that one of the candle lights goes out.
Oh.
Hey guys, what happened? Is everything okay?
One of the lights went out.
That doesn't sound good.
I cast a firebolt into the one that went out.
No effect.
So what is it that I see in here? Like what?
So
explain
inside,
what is,
the room is littered with lots of tiny holes all around the wall. The sarcophagus in the middle, in the center, its lid appears to be adorned with a coiled serpent on it. Stood behind it is the ornate crystal box with a small humanoid skull floating inside of it. The small skull seems to be giving off a little bit of light. Now that you're in the room, you hear the voice of a young girl echoing in the back of your mind. Oh, what's happening? Why can't I see?
So
And
we
Pijo
don't hear
says
that? Pijo hears that?
Pijo hears it in his mind. Pijo
No,
is the
no,
only
no.
one that hears it. Okay. What was that?
No one else hears it then.
No one else hears it.
Okay.
So at this point, no matter who can figure out what, this is Stephen alone.
Okay.
What do you do?
Hang on. What did she say? My dog's also like having a panic attack. So
She said, "What's happening? Why can't I see?" And it echoes in your mind, but you see the light seem to just vibrate a little bit, so you can feel like it's coming from the skull.
well, I'm.
Piju, come back through the thing to see if it lights up the eye again. Just to test it out.
But that might be how many times you can pass the doorway. If he comes out, you might be able to not get back in.
Where am I?
What are you doing in there, Piju? Come on, get out of there.
Okay.
Who are you?
I'm just leaving. I'm leaving. Why my guy can't leave? The token's not leaving the room. Hang on. I don't know if that's supposed to be okay. It's fine. It was just roll 20 acting up. What happens to the flame?
The second light goes out.
Ah, criminy.
Does it feel like the thing tried to?
Nope, doesn't feel like it tried to do anything. The mouth is still wide open. The shield is still in place, but now both lights are out.
Well, I'm gonna kind of get them in close. I'm like, so I heard a voice from a little girl, and if I remember right, the sign said, "Don't tell things to the doomed kid." That's true, and I'm really bad at lying, so I might not be the best person to go into that room.
I got this, because if we're only allowed one more re-entry, then I can use bookmark to get back out.
Okay, hopefully you can.
Okay.
There could also be another kid. Maybe it's not the one that we're not supposed to lie to, but I don't know.
Just in case I do have to use it, can everybody stand kind of back away from the door? Because that's totally where I'm going to be teleporting to, and I don't want to teleport into you.
I'll be holding the shield.
Okay. All right. And dive.
You jump through. The hinge tries to snap forward. It pushes on the shield. Zola manages to get out, no problem. The shield is then pushed out a little bit, and the thing closes, reopens. Both lights come back on.
Woo!
Okay.
Now, the act of having placed the shield in meant that Zola had enough time and opportunity to get through without any checks. So if you guys continue this methodology, as long as there is always someone to put the shield back in afterwards, you should be able to get through everyone, no problem. But Zola, as soon as you pass through, you hear this voice of a child. Hello? Who's there?
I do not respond.
Where am I? Please, I know you're there.
I think I have the trick of it. Does anyone else want to go in? Or Zola, do you want to just grab the crystal and get out of there? Or do you want to open the sarcophagus? So many things that we could do.
I personally don't think I want to open the sarcophagus, knowing that this is the Tomb of the Nine Gods. That might be one of the Nine Gods, and if so, then I would rather not, on principle of religion, disturb their rest. That would not be of my way. The only thing I'm concerned about is if there's some kind of magic I can't see around this egg or skull thing. But I can see what I can see.
Well,
it's so dark.
I used the lantern to see if there's anything invisible, and I didn't see anything. So
I can dive in.
Okay, so Carmen goes in.
Yeah.
Please, are you with my father? Is he looking for me? Who are you all?
Who are you?
I'm Nepotak. Why are you here?
Is that name familiar at all?
No.
Not, okay. All right. I will check to see if the pedestal is trapped. See if it's got any pressure plates or anything weird.
Does not appear to be. The only thing on here is the crystal box with the skull floating inside of it.
All right. Here we go. I'm gonna touch it.
I did an Arcana check first.
And other than the floating skull inside that kind of lets you know it's probably magical here, you don't see any sort of, or sense any other magic in here.
Okay.
Zola, you reach out to touch it. The skull grows a little more agitated. The blue flames, the blue light that seems to emanate from it shifts to an eerie green color as the skull becomes a flame skull, and we're all going to roll initiative again.
Ah, no. Can Tower fit through the mouth?
Just garbage initiative.
I don't actually think Tower could fit through the mouth. No, I didn't think so either.
So can you drop it?
Yeah, if I drop it. I'm supposed to let me continue.
Sorry. Don't know why it's always slow for me. All right.
Teo, there's a conclusion that I'm drawing that I'm not sure that Pijo would. How would I be able to determine that? How would you like me to determine that?
Roll an intelligence check as Pijo.
Okay. Yeah. 11. Meh.
What is the thing?
The thing is that I know I saw that there was a plaque on the bottom, on the second level, also in common. You said similar to the one at the top.
Mm-hmm.
On this level, we've encountered a thing hiding in darkness and a creepy child that could be a doomed child. So the conclusion that I'm thinking is that these plaques, each one doesn't describe a different floor, or not each like puzzle doesn't describe a different floor. Each plaque describes the floor that it's on.
Yes, Pijo can come to that conclusion.
Okay.
Pijo would be right to assume that each plaque matters only to the things on that room, on that floor.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll wait to, say that to anybody else. But...
So, starting off, top of the round, I believe Nepatak actually got the highest initiative. So, in good old traditional fashion, we're going to go with a fireball. Yeah, fireball sounds pretty good, And with a fireball being a 20-foot radius, because this shouldn't take too long to create at least a fireball. Come on. It spreads around corners, so I'm just going to actually just draw it in. So, doesn't get tower. Oh no, she would want to get Zola in. So, 20 foot from Zola. So here, this point gets everyone in the room except tower. Okay? So I need Pijo, Averine, Carmen, and Zola to roll dexterity saving throw.
I'm going to cast Absorb Elements on this.
Okay.
I have to pick them.
Same.
Okay. So I have a 25 from Zola. That is a pass. You take half.
No, I
Do
don't.
you have evasion?
I do.
Okay, so you don't take any damage. Averine, that's a failure. You would take full, but you use Absorb Elements, so you actually only take 15 points of fire damage. Carmen, you fail. You take 30 points of fire damage.
Oh.
Pijo, you succeed. You take half, plus you cast Absorb Elements, so you also take half again, so you take 7 points of fire damage as Nepatak explodes into flame. She will... she'll stay there. Tower, what are you going to do?
Question about the ring. Can if I use the ring, he's a big creature. Does that mean I could take up space around Carmen? Could I potentially reach that thing? Is basically my question. If I
Did you not unattune to the ring yourself? We asked this very
I have.
specific question.
I am still attuned to it. I was asking the question in case I have to attune to something later. At the moment, I've only got 3 items that I can attune to, so I'm attuned to every single one of them.
Okay. You act as if you are from the position of Carmen, but you cannot use the ring while you're in beast shape form.
Can I not have the ring on the little beastie finger?
No.
Okay. I'll do anything.
Okay. Carmen.
God, I don't even know what to do. I gave the blade back to PG, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I'm going to do an Eldritch Blast.
Okay. That will miss.
You should have
Fuck.
2
You
blasts.
have a second beam.
You can block it.
Can I luck it? Do I not get a second go?
You do get a second go. You can luck it if you wish.
I'll luck it. Yeah, I'll luck it because I'm a bit
Right.
conscious that it's.
In which case, I will be a little bit slower because you need to luck before you find out whether or not it's successful.
Yeah.
So I went a bit too quick on that. So go ahead and use a luck. So
Really?
are you going to do anything with that? That misses. So second beam.
Sorry, the joys of being on a laptop.
You put it on your front screen.
What?
Oh, come on.
Oh, come off it.
Are you going to do anything to the 9?
No, I think Carmen's going to run back because she's already taken a battering. Just trying to think how far I can get.
Carmen, what is your passive perception?
11.
Okay. The wall directly north of you is fake.
Oh.
There is a secret door there.
Oh, okay.
You could go that way.
But then I'll be on my own completely. That's my only worry.
How many candles are lit right now?
1, because Carmen went through.
In that case, I'm going to just jump down there then. Can I go 30 feet?
Yes, you can. Let me get rid of the wall. That'll stop you.
Oh. 1, 2. I'll go to 25. Okay.
Whereupon you will find a set of stairs that works towards a muddy river.
Oh, okay. Cool. Okay.
Same muddy river that you saw previously.
Yep.
Okay. Zola. Carmen just disappeared behind an illusion.
I am not deterred. I am going to kick it in its non-existent butt.
Okay. 25 to hit the non-existent butt. That hits for slashing damage. Slash.
Great. And then I will use my bonus action to attack it again.
Okay. 15 also hits for another 4.
Okay. And I'll stay here thinking it doesn't have any hands. Melee is probably a good range.
Fine. Bijo.
Well, I'm going to, for now, try to get... I mean, do I have a clear shot from here? Because I can see it, but it's not easy to see.
Do you have the sharpshooter feat?
I don't know. What
Okay.
kind of cover would it have?
Then it does have kind of half cover because you've got Zola, you've got the sarcophagus, and the big skull face. It's got half cover.
Yeah.
That only increases its AC by 2, though.
Oh, that's not too bad. I think I'm going to. Who's left? Hasn't gone inside. I'm gonna, for now. I'm going to shoot at it with my bow. Just a regular arrow.
Hits.
And that gets Colossus Slayer.
It does. You
Okay.
notice it seems to be resistant to the damage.
That's fine. It's still taking some, and I'm gonna do it again.
Okay. Same again. Hits again.
Oh no, Colossus Slayer doesn't go that time because it only goes once a turn. So take away that 4.
Okay.
I just clicked it by reflex. So.
All right.
And
it's still alive though.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'm just gonna wait up because I want to wait until Everine can plug up that mouth again before I go through.
Okay. It's already plugged up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then I'll pass through.
Okay. Averine.
No, I'll wait because I can dodge the trap better if it closes on somebody. So I'll wait. Sorry,
Averine.
I'm all over the place.
I will cast Guiding Bolt at that thing.
Okay.
At level 2. The 26 to hit.
That will hit. With the 10 points of radiant cracking against its form, the light sputters and fades. It dies.
Carmen, it's okay. You can come back.
The crystalline box is obviously no more,
I'm on my
but
way.
the skull just drops and shatters on the pedestal. Those of you that are inside the room, when she dies, when the skull is killed, you notice that the stone sarcophagus lid shudders. Just ever so slightly. Like it's unlocked.
Okay.
Oh, Moa
Can we
maybe
see
wants
inside?
us.
Is there a gap? See inside?
You can't see inside. You'll need to take off the push off the lid.
I'll look to Zola.
Yeah, that wasn't the key, so maybe it's in there. And
Okay.
I saw it do a thing, so maybe Moa wants us to open it.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to try?
You're gonna
Yes,
push
yeah.
the lid off. All right.
Yeah, not all the way, but like partially.
Just enough. Yeah.
Okay. You push it off, and as the lid shifts ever so slightly, light shines in. You can see a bundle of faded cloth that seems to hold together the bones of a Jakuli. You
Oh.
have the physical form of a Jakuli inside the sarcophagus. It is wrapped around a staff that looks like it has a snake's head.
Okay.
Wise, honest Moa, please be gentle with us as we attempt to rid your tomb of infestation. I am going to gently try to unwind the body from the staff, like as delicately as I possibly can.
Can we check for traps super quickly?
You can roll a perception check.
Let's.
You don't see any traps.
Okay.
So Zola carefully, calmly moves the Jakuli bones out of the way to unwind him from the serpent staff. Doing so requires you to touch the serpent staff. Right? As you touch it, green smoke seems to just billow out of the staff, coiling around you like another serpent, and a sibilant voice whispers in your ear, "Let me help you. I promise to be good."
Who are you?
I am that which you watch, that which you look over.
No
I
way.
am Moa.
No way. Can I? All right. Do I believe that?
Roll an insight check.
Can I hear that as I'm next to her, or do I just see this smoke going
It's
around her?
whispered in her ear. It's very quiet. You
Okay.
can hear Zola's side of it. You believe it. From what you know of the legend, Moa is truthful and kind. Moa is not going to lie to you.
If that
Do you
is Moa.
accept Moa's help?
And Moa's
Um,
kind.
Moa, my skill set may not be best suited for your partnership. Would you mind if I attempted to find a better suitor for you?
I disagree. Will you accept?
You would know better than me, so I will accept this. Whatever you say, my lord.
You are now inhabited by Moa's spirit. The actual trickster god now inhabits Zola's body. Moa is the Jakuli, is truthful and kind. While inhabited by Moa, you gain the following flaw, which overrides any opposing flaw. I must always speak the truth. You now have also gained a power. While inhabited by Moa, you can use an action to turn invisible. Anything you are wearing or carrying is invisible as long as it is on your person. The effect ends if you attack, cast a spell, force a saving throw, or deal damage. So, effectively, you can cast the invisibility spell on yourself at will and don't need concentration on it.
Are you sure about this, Moa? Because I have very high stealth.
You can be extra invisible. So, you are now inhabited by Moa's spirit.
Can I talk to him, like, casually?
Mhm.
Is he just going to be around now? Oh, this is so cool.
Instantly, you understand that that which you hold in your hands is actually a staff of the Python. A staff of the Python requires attunement by a cleric, druid, or warlock. You can use an action to speak the staff's command word and throw the staff on the ground within 10 feet of you. The staff becomes a giant constrictor snake under your control and acts on its own initiative count.
That'd be great if I was any one of those classes.
Yep. So you can give out the staff to anyone else in the group, but that is now with the party.
Oh, okay. So Mo is still with me, but the staff can go somewhere else.
Mo is with you, but the staff can go anywhere else.
Okay.
Right. Anything else you guys are doing in this room?
I'm gonna cross through with them.
Second light has now gone out. No.
Second, yeah.
Second light goes out. Is anyone going to cross through again? Pijo, your passives allow you to be able to see now. Secret door.
Yeah.
Leads out.
Just so you guys know, in there, both lights are out. I'm holding the shield, but just take caution on your way back out if you're coming back out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh there, fella. What are you trying to tell us? Is there someone down in the well?
Is there someone down in the well?
Not the well that you're looking at.
So what are... Pijo wants to look into these little hidey holes. Because those are interesting.
They just look like tiny little tunnels, wide enough for the skull to move through.
That's tricky. Okay. Got it. Well. So, yeah. Hey, Averine and Tower and Dandy, y'all should come in because there's more to do in here.
Well, how much more is there to do? Because if that over there leads down, then, we want to do this level first, right?
Yeah. But there's this whole pathway right down here. And it doesn't look like it's going... Is it going all the way down?
It goes down
The
to
path
the river.
goes down to the river, a muddy river similar to the river you saw underneath the grate over by the bottom left corner of the map.
Okay.
Okay. Pijo, you go through, you look through, You see stood at the bottom of the stairs a skeleton. Now, this is different from a normal skeleton you would have seen in other encounters with undead skeletons previously. Most skeletons require still some form of sinew or tendons and flesh to hold the bones together and manipulate the bones.
Mm-hmm.
No flesh. No tendons. No robes. Literally bone animated next to bone. Yeah. Stood at the bottom of the stairs.
I'm going to roll a knowledge religion to see if I know what kind of undead this is. If it isn't undead, it's at advantage.
It
If
is
it's
undead.
not okay. I have a -1, so I'm not expecting much, but
Ooh.
I've never
hey!
encountered something like this before.
Yeah. So that's still not enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So look back. Did you guys, I don't know if you noticed, if you check this out, but there's just like a skeleton down there. Just kind of.
It reaches up with both hands, raises them,
It's raising the roof.
then grabs one of the two bones in its forearm, breaks them out,
Ah!
and now has bone daggers and is going to come running
Stop.
straight towards you.
Close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Secret door. Close the secret door. This is not good. It's
good.
Solution.
There's no wall.
so.
Can I do cure wounds super quickly, please?
Yes, you can kill wounds to people.
I'm going to use the staff for one. The staff of healing. I'm going to use it for one use.
I'm gonna back up
What is
in
it?
reaction to it charging.
Will be 8 plus 4
So I do a plus
plus 4.
plus 4 there.
It's going to keep following you to swipe at you. Is anyone going to attack it to stop it from attacking Pijo?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you going to do?
I'm gonna cut it twice over as it passes.
Right. So you swing. You don't need much to be able to hit it. You swing. You hit it. It crumples to dust. Everything on its person, all of the skeletal bones, everything instantly just disintegrates, except the skull. The skull drops to the floor. And as it rolls around, it kind of rolls into Zola's feet.
Can I check it out?
Of course you can. You pick it up.
Mhm.
You lift up the skull. You look it over. With your passive, you notice something very strange about this skull. The back end of it has been carved into. So chunks of the skull have actually been carved out to reveal a triangular shape indentation or extrusion out of the skull's form.
Oh.
So you have a skull with a triangle shape in the back. In front of you.
I'm going to go over to the portal and does Everine have a hand free?
I'm holding the shield. I'm
Okay.
bracing it.
I'll just let her know then. I'll turn the skull around so that she can see through the hole. Be like, check this out. I think it could be the key. I don't know. It's certainly weird.
I agree. That is a weird thing to carve into a skull randomly.
Oh, maybe that's why the UNC have the triangles on their heads. It's some kind of symbolism for the keys of the two of them. Oh my gosh.
So we have to find 6 skulls, and they're just gonna charge at us with daggers. They're gonna break their arms, and
It's a
I
possibility.
don't like this. This is very scary.
Hey, so what was going on with that sarcophagus?
Oh, Everine, I have Moa, like the real Moa.
Shut the front door.
I'm serious.
That
He's talking to me.
is literally a tomb to a god, and the god is in you.
Yes.
This is amazing.
You want to tell him anything? You want to say anything to him? I can translate. I can be here in between.
I take
Power
offense
says
to
Moa.
that.
Yeah. He says he takes offense to that.
So that means we have 8 more gods, potentially,
Not all of them are as
Somewhere
nice
in
as
the
Noah,
tomb.
though.
uncover. Okay.
With that, we're going to end tonight's session. So, our party half in, half out of the tomb to Moa. Zola now possessed by one of the 9 trickster gods with extra power, so that's good. Means that there are other spirits here with also more power. Hey, that's good. And you believe you may have a key. Join us next week as we continue our delve into the Tomb of the 9 Gods and collect more of those keys. Try to maybe make it past more traps as everyone very tentatively just waits. And okay, all right. If you would like to follow what we do, follow us on Twitter. We are at Crituitous RP. You can follow us on Tumblr. We are tumblr.com. No, crituitousrp.tumblr.com. And then if you wish to join in with us through Discord chat, through playing games with us, and just generally hanging out with our community, you can support us over on Patreon. That is patreon.com/Teovant. Thank you very much, folks, and we will see you next week.